Chapter 704. It's too late for regrets _6. Rest assured. I will definitely marry you. Zhao Shen promised. Lin Fong did not say much, she just said, then I'll go back first. I will come to find you after the new year. Returning to the villa once again, the tranquility seemed to have returned. Shangguan Furong looked at Zhao Shen and said, before the divorce, I have one more condition. You say? He had been married to Shangguan Furong for many years and he would satisfy whatever condition Shangguan Furong had. Shangguan Furong went on. Today is the 24th of the small year. My brother and sister-in-law must have returned home. I want you to accompany me back to my mother's house. We used to go back on this day every year. I don't want to cause any suspicion. All right. Zhao Shen nodded. Then, I'll let Zijuan and Ziqing know. Shortly, the family of four arrived at the Shangguan residence by car. As Shangguan Furong had said, Nai Zuihua and Shangguan Dehui were both at home, and their children were there too. The Shangguan residence was bustling. Auntie and uncle, you're here. Shangguan, she took the gift from Zhao Shen. Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing excitedly ran towards Nai Yun, Yun, sister. If it were in the past, Shangguan Furong would have been very unhappy. But today, Shangguan Furong was not only unhappy, but she was also smiling. Brother, sister-in-law. Shangguan Furong greeted Shangguan Dehui and Nai Zuihua. Shangguan Dehui and Nai Zuihua were both taken aback. Shangguan Furong had always made no secret of her dislike of Nai Zuihua. But today, Shangguan Furong seemed like a different person. There was not a trace of scorn in her eyes. During these days, Shangguan Furong had thought about many things. She had been wrong in the past. She only cared about her own pride without considering the feelings of others. She was also the one who had been too meddlesome, almost ruining the good marriage between Shangguan Dehui and Nai Zuihua. Furong. Nai Zuihua looked at Shangguan Furong in surprise. Shangguan Furong continued, sister-in-law, this is the bird's nest and hazma that I brought especially for you. They are very nourishing for women. Thank you. Nai Zuihua didn't know what to say for a moment. The old lady Shangguan looked at Shangguan Furong with a heartwarming expression in her eyes. Great. In her lifetime, she finally saw Shangguan Furong become sensible. Sister-in-law, I was immature in the past, please don't hold it against me. The past is the past, Furong, don't think too much about it. Nai Zuihua comforted her. Looking at Nai Zuihua, Shangguan Furong suddenly felt urged to cry. Nai Zuihua was such a good person, but she had treated her that way in the past. She regretted it, truly regretted. Unfortunately, her realizations came too late. Shangguan Furong walked over to Nai Yang, Yang. Aunt. Nai Yang barely lifted her eyes. She could feel that Shangguan Furong had changed quite a bit. With a smile, Shangguan Furong said, can you come with me for a while? Okay. Nai Yang nodded, following Shangguan Furong to the study on the second floor. As soon as they entered the study, Shangguan Furong bowed deeply to Nai Yang. Yang, I'm sorry. Aunt, don't do this, I'm the younger one. Nai Yang hurriedly helped Shangguan Furong up. Shangguan Furong went on to say, I know that a bow can hardly make up for the harm I've caused you, but now, all I can do is apologize. She had done too many wrong things. No one is perfect and can avoid making mistakes, as the saying goes. Whatever happened has already passed, so let it be, continued Nai Yang. We must look forward in life. Shangguan Furong nodded in agreement. Yang, you're right, we should always look forward. Nai Yang sensed that something seemed off about Shangguan Furong today. Auntie, have you encountered any problems recently? No, Shangguan Furong shook her head and denied it with a laugh. At the Zhao family, everyone treats me with respect. What kind of problems could I possibly encounter? Her status within the Zhao family was evident to all. But Nai Yang continued, you seem a bit off today. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep, Shangguan Furong yawned. I've been staying up late playing mahjong with my lady friends. Please take care of your health, Auntie, Nai Yang said. Shangguan Furong nodded in response. Nai Yang went on, if anything bothers you, you may tell Grandma or us. Don't hold it all in by yourself. Smiling, Shangguan Furong responded, I will, Yang, thank you. Thank you for putting the past behind us. After lunch, the oldest Shangguan was taking care of little Enai while Shangguan Shi and Enai Yang were outside building snowmen with the Zhao siblings, Zijuan and Ziqing. In December, a thick layer of snow covered the outdoors. Shangguan Furong and Zhao Shen were chatting with Shangguan Dehui and Enai Zihua. Shangguan Furong increasingly felt that the old lady Shangguan was right in their previous conversation. Enai Zihua was excellent indeed. She and Shangguan Dehui were equals, none superior to the other. How come she had never noticed before? Shangguan Furong suggested, we now have 4 people here, should we play some mahjong? Sure, good idea. Zhao Shen had no objections since he was accustomed to following Shangguan Furong's advice. This version of Shangguan Furong was indeed endearing. If Shangguan Furong had always been like this, they would not have arrived at the idea of divorce. Enai Zuehua admitted somewhat awkwardly, I don't know how to play mahjong. Shall we ask Mom to join in? She spent any free time studying, leaving no time for mahjong. That's okay, I can teach you, offered Shangguan Dehui who was next to her. Shangguan Furong smilingly added, indeed, let my brother teach you. Enai Zuehua was quick to learn. After one round with Shangguan Dehui, she knew how to play. Moreover, Enai Zuehua had good luck and won several rounds in a row. Not until late at night did Shangguan Furong and Zhao Shen leave with the children. Shangguan Dehui and Enai Zuehua saw them out. Brother, sister-in-law, please go back with the children soon. It's windy outside. Shangguan Furong waved them goodbye. Watching Shangguan Furong's retreating figure, Enai Zuehua said, Dehui, don't you think Furong has changed a lot? Shangguan Dehui nodded. Indeed, she has changed quite a bit. It's a good change for Furong. Time flew by. Before they knew it, New Year's Eve had arrived. This year, Enai Yang was spending the New Year with Enai Zuehua at the Shangguan family home. They planned to bring the oldest Shangguan back to Jinghua village on the first day of the new year. The oldest Shangguan was extremely delighted since it had been a long time since they last had such a happy new year. At the dinner table, the oldest Shangguan gave everyone a hefty red envelope. Just after they finished their New Year's Eve dinner and were about to go outside to set off fireworks, the phone rang. Today being New Year's Eve, the Shangguan family had given their servants a day off. Shangguan Shi rushed to answer the phone. Hello. Whatever the person on the other end of the phone said made Shangguan Zai's face turn pale. He rushed back into the living room without even hanging up the phone, panic written all over his face. Grandma, something has happened. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 705. Shocking change _1 in the living room. The elderly Madame Shangguan was holding fireworks, preparing to go outside and set them off with everyone else. Upon hearing the news, the fireworks in her hand dropped to the ground with a thud. What happened? Madame Shangguan asked. Shangguan Shi was crying, not knowing how to speak. From her youth to adulthood, she had never encountered such a situation. What on earth happened? Madame Shangguan's face turned pale with urgency. The more anxious she felt, the harder it was to talk. It felt like something was stuck in her throat. Sister Xiaoxi, don't panic, take your time. Enai Yang walked over to Shangguan Shi, holding her hand and comforting her in a low voice. There's an acupoint on the hand called the Laogong acupoint. When someone is highly stressed, lightly pressing the Laogong acupoint can relieve stress and calm the mind. The place that Enai Yang was pressing was exactly the Laogong acupoint. Gradually calming down, Shangguan Shi said, Grandma, Aunt had an accident. What happened to her? Old Madame Shangguan asked urgently. She's threatening to jump off a building with Zijuan and Ziqing. What? Shangguan Dehui and Enai Zihua happened to walk in from outside at that moment. Their smiles froze on their faces, as if their blood was running in reverse. Madame Shangguan couldn't catch her breath and almost fainted. Luckily, Enai Yang caught her in time. Quick, let's get to Furong's house. The Shangguan family's home was only 5 minutes away from the Zhao family's, but for the people in the car, those 5 minutes felt longer than 50 minutes, 5 hours, even 5 years. Madame Shangguan cried. When I visited last time, I noticed that something was wrong with that child. She told me many things, told me to take care of my health, not to eat sweets, to take my heart medication on time. I should have realized it earlier. I should have. Madame Shangguan originally thought that Shangguan Furong was just maturing. She never dreamed that Shangguan Furong could do such a foolish thing. Mother, please calm down, and Hua comforted. Furong will be okay. She will be, I am sure of it. Before long, the car stopped in front of the Zhao family's villa. The butler immediately came out to welcome them. Madam, sir, you're here. The mistress and master are upstairs. Please follow me. What on earth happened? Asked Shangguan Dehui, his face cold. Although Shangguan Furong was domineering and strong-willed, she would never seek death so easily, especially not with 2 children involved. The butler heaved a sigh. He was at a loss as to how to explain the situation to Shangguan Dehui. Please go up and try to reason with the madam. The young master and miss, they are innocent. They are still just children. Madame Shangguan had cried herself weak and collapsed helplessly into Ni Yang's arms. What sin have I committed that I am being punished by the heavens like this? The Zhao's villa was like a palace with 10 floors in total. Shangguan Furong and the 2 children were sitting on the open-air balcony on the top floor. Zhao Shen and old lady Zhao stood nearby. The elderly Mrs. Zhao tried to hold back her tears. Furong, take the children and come down. Let's talk things over, don't do anything foolish, okay? Zhao Shen took a tentative step forward. Furong, come down. As long as you come down, I promise anything. We won't divorce. Is that all right? Don't come any closer. Shangguan Furong moved closer to the edge of the balcony with the children. Okay, I won't come closer. Just don't do anything rash. Don't be rash. Zhao Shen took a step back. He never thought things would come to this. He didn't imagine that when Shangguan Furong said she wanted a divorce after the new year, she meant to take their 2 children and die. After carrying a pregnancy for 10 months and giving birth. How could she bear to choose death for the 2 children? Just then Shangguan Furong looked towards the top floor exit, her eyes lit up. Mom, brother, sister-in-law, you're here. Furong. Ni Hua covered her mouth in terror. Furong. Furong. Madame Shangguan cried as she lunged forward. Furong, what are you doing? Mom, don't come over. Shangguan Furong moved back again with the children. There were no railings behind them. If they moved any further, she and the children would fall off. 40 meters from the 10th floor. If they were to fall, the consequences would be unimaginable. Grandma, stay calm and stay back. Ni Yang pulled Madame Shangguan back. Old Lady Zhao saw the Shangguans had arrived, and as if seeing a lifeline, pleaded, Elder sister, you're finally here. Help me reason with Furong, don't let her do anything foolish. Zhao Shen said, Mom, brother, help me reason with Furong. As long as she doesn't do anything foolish, I can agree to anything she asks for. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 706, Shocking Change _2. Heh! Shangguan Furong cried with a laugh, crying crocodile tears. The Zhao family must be wishing me dead, so you could clear the way for that adulterous woman, right? These words carried a heavy burden of truth. The expressions on Zhao Shen and old lady Zhao's faces changed immediately. What exactly is going on? Old lady Shangguan looked at old lady Zhao and Zhao Shen. Old lady Zhao remained silent. Shame was written all over Zhao Shen's face. How could they even begin to explain? Right now, Shangguan Dehui had no interest in dealing with Zhao Shen and old lady Zhao. He was slowly moving towards the balcony, extending his hand towards Shangguan Furong. Furong, don't be afraid. Your brother is here. He'll handle this for you. Even if the sky fell down now, I would hold it up for you. Will you give your hand to your brother, please? Shangguan Furong hastily retreated. Brother, don't come any closer. If you do, we'll jump. All right, I'm not moving. Don't get agitated. Shangguan Dehui halted his steps and tried to speak in a light tone. Did Zhao Shen bully you? Tell your brother and he'll stand up for you. Shangguan Furong's face was streaked with tears. Brother, I'm sorry. I don't want to live anymore, living has no meaning. Shangguan Dehui dared not upset her further, continuing, Furong, you are still young, your best days are still ahead. You still have me and mother and the two lovely children Zijuan and Ziqing. How could life have no meaning? If there are any issues, come down first and let's talk about it seriously. If you die, what about mother? Can you bear to let her suffer the heartbreak of burying her own child? Anyway, every man must die, sooner or later it's all the same. When I die, brother, remember to comfort mother. She shouldn't have to grieve for an unfilial daughter like me. At these words, Shangguan Furong looked up at Zhao Shen. Zhao Shen, when I die, you'll be free. Are you happy now? I have been married into the Zhao family for 19 years, thinking I had a loving mother-in-law, a husband who always put me first, and two smart and lovely children. At this point, a sneer appeared at the corner of her mouth, and in the end, I have nothing. I am just a fool who has been used by others. A daughter-in-law could be replaced. A husband could remarry. The children could have a new mother. Her existence was negligible. Looking back at these 19 years, it was all like a puff of smoke that dissipated instantly. Shangguan Furong continued, I won't take anything that doesn't belong to me. But Zijuan and Ziqing are my flesh and blood. I must take them with me. They will never be left to you and that adulterous woman. The children are hers. She carried them for 10 months in her womb. Lin Fang is a wicked woman. If she leaves the children to her, they'd surely not have a good life. It's better to take them along. That way, they can be together in the afterlife. It was then that Zhao Shen noticed the red wedding dress Shangguan Furong was wearing, the dress they wore on their wedding day 19 years ago. 19 years had passed, but the red dress was still brilliantly bright. Now, everything had changed. Just as Shangguan Furong had said, she did not take a single thing from the Zhao family. It seemed she truly was determined to die and take the two children with her. Thinking about this, Zhao Shen's heart ached. No! Zhao Shen pleaded, Furong, I beg you. Zijuan and Ziqing are still young, they are innocent, it's me who failed you. Come down, we won't divorce, we will live happily together from now on, get lost. Shangguan Furong's mood suddenly became explosive. Zhao Shen, do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Stop pretending in front of me. The children are mine. None of you can take them away from me. Furong, don't be rash. Shangguan Dehui walked up to Zhao Shen. Tell me everything from start to finish. From today onward, I won't let you face this alone. If it's truly the Zhao family who wronged you, I will tear their family apart to get you justice. The daughters of the Shangguan family, we would never let anyone take advantage of them. Hearing this, Zhao Shen felt a sudden dread. All these days had passed, he had even forgotten that Shangguan Furong had the support of the Shangguan family. When Shangguan Dehui was young, he was notorious for his recklessness. The color drained from old lady Zhao's face. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 707, Shocking Change _3. Brother! Suddenly, Shangguan Furong burst into tears. It's all my fault, I didn't listen to Mom. I let the wolves into our house by getting Zhao Shen involved with that bitch Lin Fang. It really was Lin Fang. The old lady Shangguan's face tightened. Zhao Shen, you bastard! Shangguan Dehui punched Zhao Shen directly. Zhao Shen's head swerved, fell to the ground. Shangguan Dehui didn't stop there. He grabbed Zhao Shen by the collar, pinned him against the wall, and continued to beat him. Zhao Shen was no match for the robust Shangguan Dehui. In an instant his face swelled and his vision blurred with stars. Old lady Zhao panicked. Stop. Stop. Spare him. If you keep going you might kill him. Shangguan Dehui pushed old lady Zhao away. His life matters, but my sister's doesn't? If anything happens to my sister today, it'll make him pay with his life. Old lady Zhao began crying in a panic, looking from Shangguan Furong to Zhao Shen. Finally, she clutched at the sleeve of the old lady Shangguan. Sister, please tell uncle to stop. An eye for an eye, you're worried about your son, but what about my daughter? Who's concerned about her? Old Lady Shangguan looked at Shangguan Furong with teary eyes. Furong, come down, please, don't do anything foolish. How will I live if something happens to you? Mum, I'm sorry, I really can't go on living. She couldn't go on. Once, everyone knew Shangguan Furong had married into a good household. She was held in the highest regard. Now, she was just a joke. She couldn't bear the judgmental stares of others. She couldn't bear the sudden betrayal of Zhao Xin. She couldn't stand Lin Fong taking over her place. Death seemed to be the only way out. She would be free with death. At this moment, Ni Yang entered the scene. Aunt, no obstacle in life is insurmountable. Please come down. Don't make Grandma worry. Look, isn't my dad taking revenge for you right now? Yang, you don't understand. Shangguan Furong shook her head. Ni Yang pressed on. Auntie, do you think death is freeing? It's not. Death is merely the beginning of pain. From what I've heard from some elders, people who commit suicide bear enormous sins. Not only will they not be reincarnated, but their souls will also replay their suicide, enduring the pain time and again indefinitely. When a person is teetering on the edge of death, they may wonder if there is a heaven or hell in this world. Ni Yang's absurd words roused Shangguan Furong's attention. Ni Yang carefully observed Shangguan Furong's expression while saying, Aunt, Zijuan and Ziqing are just children, unaware of the world. Can you bear to see them endure such pain? Shangguan Furong replied, It's me they will die with. If God must punish someone, let him punish me. The children have nothing to do with this. Ni Yang continued, But you are their mother, your wish represents theirs as well. God won't spare them just because they are children. Shangguan Furong fell silent for a moment, holding the children closer to her. She was starting to waver. At that moment, Ni Yang spoke again. Aunt, don't you want to get revenge? Revenge? Shangguan Furong looked at Ni Yang. Revenge for what? Ni Yang said, Think about who did this to you. It was Lin Fong. That bitch Lin Fong. Shangguan Furong yelled. So, you must keep living. Only by living can you take revenge. Ni Yang continued, Death is like a flickering lamp, extinguished in an instant. In the beginning, the Zhao family may feel guilty, but as time passes, they will forget you. Then Zhao Shen will marry Lin Fong. As for the children, they are young, they can have more. At that point, who will remember you? Who will remember Zijuan or Ziqing? Ni Yang's words penetrated to the core, each syllable a tearful plea. The color drained from Shangguan Furong's face. Seeing her wavering, Ni Yang seized the opportunity, continuing, Aunt, while you're here, crying your heart out, planning to jump with Zijuan and Ziqing, Lin Fong might be at home feasting and celebrating. Why should we let ourselves suffer and make it easier for others? Yang, is what you're saying true? Shangguan Furong asked. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 708, Shocking Change _4. Ni Yang nodded. Of course it's true. Lin Fong, as the third party, definitely wants you dead. Only when you're dead can she usurp your place with a clear conscience. At this point, Ni Yang paused, then added, Auntie, get a divorce. Times are different now. You can still live well after a divorce. Look at my mother, look at Sister Ping Ping, look at Aunt Ni, which of them lives worse than women with families? You're knowledgeable, educated, and capable. In what way are you inferior to Lin Fong? Zhao Shen having an affair with Lin Fong is his lack of insight, his loss. You should live on, live beautifully, and make them regret it. As Ni Yang spoke, she began to walk towards Shangguan Furong. Shangguan Furong had already let her guard down. But what about Zijuan and Ziqing? Will you leave them with the Zhao family? I won't agree. Zijuan and Ziqing are my flesh and blood. Shangguan Furong's emotions, which had only just calmed down, suddenly stirred up again. Ni Yang halted her steps, then said, In this marriage, Zhao Shen is at fault. According to the marriage law, when one of the spouses cheats, the child is not awarded to the guilty party. Really? Shangguan Farong asked. Really? Anai Yang nodded. Auntie, give your hand to me. Anai Yang carefully reached out to Shangguan Farong. Shangguan Farong handed Zhao Zijuan to Anai Yang. Just then, old Madame Zhao and Zhao Shen came over, intending to take away Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing. Shangguan Farong suddenly pulled the child back. Don't come over. None of you come over. Shangguan Dehui and old Madame Shangguan immediately held back the two. Shangguan Dehui said, Farong, rest assured, Mom and I are here. We'll help you keep an eye on them. We won't come over. Old Madame Zhao and Zhao Shen were very anxious. The children are of the Zhao family. How could they let Shangguan Farong take them away? But they were afraid of further upsetting Shangguan Farong. Upon seeing their hesitation, Shangguan Farong calmed down and handed Zhao Zijuan back again. Both Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing were so groggy from the sleeping pills they had been given. With a child in each arm, Anai Yang looked at Shangguan Farong. Auntie, come down too, quickly come down. Shangguan Farong slowly rose from the balcony, her hair tousled by the cold wind. Behind her, countless fireworks were being set off. Such a sight might have signaled a happy family reunion. It was ironic indeed. A look of sadness hooked the corners of Shangguan Farong's mouth. She didn't want to go through all this either. She hadn't wanted it to come to this point. Auntie. Anai Yang was a little worried about her. Sure. Shangguan Farong put her index finger to her lips, making a silence gesture. Don't speak. Anai Yang nodded obediently. Shangguan Farong then said, Yang, move back. Anai Yang moved backwards, holding the children. Shangguan Shi and Anai Zuehua immediately came over to take over the children. Old Madame Zhao and Zhao Shen wanted to take away the children, but were stopped by Anai Zuehua. Get lost. You have no right to touch the children. Seeing Anai Zuehua so fiercely protective of Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing, a look of relief flickered in Shangguan Farong's eyes. Family would always be family. Although she had originally treated Anai Zuehua so poorly, Anai Zuehua still stood by her side at this moment. Then she looked at Zhao Shen and old Madame Zhao. Once they found out the two children were safe, they didn't care about her at all. Farong, come down quickly. Old Madame Shangguan, seeing Shangguan Farong stand up again, could feel her heart squeeze painfully. Farong, come down, brother will take you home. I can't go back, brother, I'll still be your sister in my next life. With her last words, Shangguan Farong spread her arms, leaning backwards. Farong. Auntie. Just then, Anai Yang, swift and nimble, rushed forward, grabbing Shangguan Farong's wrist. Due to the sudden force, Shangguan Farong was pulled along, her body hanging in midair as she managed to grab onto a protruding decoration on the edge of the balcony. The two of them hung in midair, creating a chilling spectacle. Yang. Anai Zuehua, scared, collapsed on her knees. Shangguan Dehui reacted fastest, running over and grabbing Anai Yang's wrist. But his own strength was not enough to pull both of them up. He looked back at the others. Quick, come help. At that moment, hearing the news, Shangguan Su rushed in from the entrance. Dad! Quick, come and help. Shangguan Dehui's veins on his arm stood out as he strained. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 709. Shocking Change _5. Shangguan Su ran over, taken aback, immediately started helping Shangguan Dehui pull the person up. Shangguan Farong, looking at Anai Yang who was desperately holding onto her wrist, gently closed her eyes. Yang, thank you. But I'm sorry. I can't endure such humiliation in my life. From the moment Zhao Shen cheated on her, she couldn't bear to live anymore. Her self-esteem wouldn't allow her to barely survive in this world. However, Anai Yang's words also made her realize in time that the child was innocent and she shouldn't take the child with her. She felt assured to leave the child with Shangguan's elderly matriarch. Shangguan Farong slowly broke free of Anai Yang's hand, her body plummeting down like a kite with a broken string. Anai Yang turned pale. Aunt. Farong. Shangguan Dehui cried out in despair. The father and son hurriedly pulled Yang up and then ran downstairs in a rush. The lights downstairs were brightly lit. Quickly call 120. Quickly call 120. Zhao's elderly matriarch urgently ordered the servant. What? You guys didn't call 120 for help earlier? Shangguan Dehui grabbed Zhao Shen's collar. Under normal circumstances, they would call 120 for help first. Shangguan Dehui and the others had arrived in such a hurry that they hadn't noticed that the Zhao family hadn't called the police or dialed 120. Zhao Shen stammered, "Brother, calm down because today, the Zhao family was a prominent and renowned family and wouldn't report such a shameful incident to the police. Alerting the police would mean making it public. It's New Year's Eve today, isn't it inviting ridicule? Rich and influential families, who value their reputation the most, would rather cover it up than report it. Besides, at that time, Zhao Shen and Zhao's old lady didn't expect Shangguan Furong to actually jump off the building. They thought, as long as the Shangguan family came, Shangguan Furong would stop making a scene. They didn't expect she would still jump. To hell with staying calm. Shangguan Dehui punched Zhao Shen. If anything happens to Furong today, you won't live either. Shangguan Dehui, who had been good-natured for many years, cursed for the first time today. After he finished speaking, Shangguan Dehui ran out of the door. Shangguan Furong lay on the ground, a large pool of blood spreading on the ground, dyeing the thick snow red, absolutely horrifying. The air was filled with a heavy scent of blood. Shangguan's elderly matriarch didn't dare to move Shangguan Furong, afraid of inflicting secondary injuries, crying out, "Furong, my poor child. God, if you want to punish someone, punish me. Why do you have to torment my child?" Aunt. Shangguan, she also knelt on the ground, crying. Yang ran out from the inner room. "Make way." Seeing Yang, everyone seemed to see hope and immediately made way for her. Yang placed the first aid box on the ground, first checked Shangguan Furong's pupils, then put her hand on Shangguan Furong's wrist. In her downcast eyes, a faint glint flashed. They had thought that since Shangguan Furong had lost so much blood, it was mostly a bad outlook, but surprisingly, Shangguan Furong might have been lucky after all. Meanwhile, Yang also let out a sigh of relief, opened the medical box, and started administering first aid to Shangguan Furong. Here, Zhao's elderly matriarch whispered to Zhao Shen, "Shenbao, I think the Shangguan family won't let this go lightly this time. You should run first." "Mom, I'm not running." Zhao's elderly matriarch sighed, "Silly boy, if you don't run now, are you waiting for Shangguan Dehui to kill you? Shangguan Dehui was a troublemaker in his youth. What can't he do?" Zhao's elderly matriarch was genuinely scared now. Shangguan Dehui had just beaten Zhao Shen half to death, and now with Shangguan Furong, he definitely wouldn't let Zhao Shen go. Zhao Shen was her only son. She couldn't just stand by and watch Zhao Shen get into trouble. "If I run, what happens to you?" Zhao Shen looked at Zhao's elderly matriarch. Things have come to this pass, and he too was very afraid. No one born as a human doesn't cherish his life. And he knew Shangguan Dehui too well. He knew that Shangguan Dehui would definitely fight him to death. Zhao's elderly matriarch continued, "I'm already old. They wouldn't dare to do anything to me, an old lady. You run first, wait until this blows over. Run fast. Leave from the back door. Yes, take more money." Zhao's elderly matriarch took out all the cash from her body and gave it to Zhao Shen, then took off her gold bracelets, gold necklace, gold earrings and other jewelry and stuffed them to Zhao Shen. "Shenbao, listen to your mom, don't come back for a short time, and don't call me. While they're still there, hurry up and go. Don't look back." Source: Web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 710, Shocking Change _6. Zhao Shen took the items handed to him by old Mrs. Zhao. "Mom, I'll go first. Please take care of yourself at home." Old Mrs. Zhao nodded, her eyes full of tears. What kind of sin had she committed to let her family become like this? Old Mrs. Zhao wiped the tears from her face and warned the servants in a low voice, "Don't utter a word about what just happened." "Yes, madam, The servants nodded in response. Meanwhile, Ni Yang first bandaged Shangguan Furong's head wound, then took out 3 silver needles and punctured them into 3 of Furong's main acupuncture points. He looked up to Shangguan Dehui. "Dad, did you call 120? "I did," replied Shangguan Dehui. "How is your aunt?" After asking this question, everything became quiet, even the crying stopped. Ni Yang said, "Don't worry, aunt is fine." "She's fine?" At this, old Mrs. Shangguan immediately questioned, "Yang, you aren't lying, are you? Is your aunt really all right?" Her voice was choking with sobbing. "Grandma, I'm not lying. Aunt is really fine." Ni Yang held her hand. "But she lost so much blood and is still unconscious." Ni Yang paused before continuing. "Aunt is 2 months pregnant, but the child in her womb may not be saved. I have done some preliminary emergency measures. Now we are just waiting for 120. Old Mrs. Shangguan broke down crying. "It's good as long as she's fine. It's good as long as she's fine." Old Mrs. Zhao didn't dare to approach. She could only watch from afar, unable to hear clearly what they were saying. "Amit Babuda, please bless Shangguan Furong to be safe. Otherwise, our Shenbao will be ruined," Mrs. Zhao prayed, hands clasped. Soon, the sound of the 120 ambulance echoed in the air. Everyone followed the ambulance to the hospital. A crowd of people waited outside the operating room. After a while, the light in the operating room went off. Old Mrs. Shangguan and Shangguan Dehui immediately approached. "Doctor, how is my sister, daughter?" The doctor removed his mask and smiled. "Fortunately, you did first aid before sending her to the hospital. The patient is now in very good condition and there is no life-threatening danger. However, the baby could not be saved. Also, her lower leg is fractured and needs to stay in the hospital for a while. It doesn't matter the child is not saved, as long as the person is fine. As long as the person is fine." Hearing the doctor's words, old Mrs. Shangguan showed a little smile. "Thank you, Yang Yang." Old Mrs. Shangguan walked over and embraced Ni Yang. If it were not for Ni Yang who caught Shangguan Furong and reduced half of the force of fall, Shangguan Furong might not have been so lucky tonight. Knowing that Shangguan Furong was okay, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Shangguan Dehui said, "Daya, take mom and the kids home. I can handle things here with Furong." And Aitsuehua said, "You and mom go home. They'll stay here to take care of Furong. As a woman, whatever I do, it'll be more convenient than you." Old Mrs. Shangguan looked around and frowned. "Where is the Zhao family? How come no one came?" They initially thought that the Zhao family also followed them in the rush. Looking back now, not even a servant from the Zhao family was sent over. This was really outrageous. "I'm going to confront them." Shangguan Dehui undid his coat button. "I'm going too." Shangguan Su followed Shangguan Dehui. As a nephew on his mother's side, his aunt was being bullied. He couldn't stand by and do nothing. Otherwise, the Zhao family might really think there's no one left in the Shangguan family. "Dehui, Xiaoxiu, you two don't act rashly." And Aitsuehua held the hands of both Shangguan Dehui and Shangguan Su. Old Mrs. Shangguan sighed. "Daya is right, you two shouldn't act impetuously. Our Shangguan family always acts logically. Right now, Furong is still in the hospital bed. Let's wait for her to wake up first." Shangguan Dehui was impulsive by nature. If he really caused a death, it would be messy. Upon hearing this, Shangguan Dehui and Shangguan Su had no choice but to stop in their tracks. And Aitsuehua continued, "Dehui, you should quickly take them back home. It's late and the children need to rest. They can come back to see Furong in the morning." Madame Shangguan said, "Daya, you go back. I will take care of Furong. I don't trust these kids with Zijuan and Ziqing." Such is the heart of every parent. Madame Shangguan was worried about Shangguan Furong. Only with her personal supervision would she be reassured. After some discussion, it was finally decided that Madame Shangguan would stay with Shangguan Furong, while the others would take Zijuan and Ziqing home to rest. After all the commotion, by the time they got home, it was already midnight. Shangguan Dehui and Aitsuehua went to the neighbors to pick up little Ni Yun. Shangguan she lay on her bed, unable to sleep with the noises outside her window. She got up and knocked on Ni Yang's door. "Yang." Sister Xiaoxi. And Yang opened the door. Yang, I can't sleep. Can I chat with you? Shengguanxi asked. Sure. And Yang nodded. The two, dressed in matching pajamas, sat on the bed. Yang, do you think our aunt can get through this? And Yang laughed. From adversity comes blessing. Don't worry, your aunt will be fine. After this life and death tribulation, Shengguan Furong should finally realize the truth. Shengguanxi continued, My uncle is so awful. He always seemed like such a good man. I can't believe he would betray my aunt. And with Lin Fong of all people. Grandma was right. Lin Fong is not a good woman at all. Thankfully, my father stopped her from marrying into our family in time. And Yang was slightly surprised. You've known Lin Fong for a while now? Shengguanxi nodded and didn't hide anything, explaining what happened. Oh, I see. And Yang squinted. From what you've said, Lin Fong indeed doesn't seem like good news. The two sisters chatted late into the night, but woke early the next morning. The aroma of food was already wafting from downstairs. Breakfast was prepared by Ni Zihua. Everyone eat quickly. After breakfast, we're going to the hospital to see your aunt. Zhao Ziqing ate heartily, slurping the noodles noisily. Zhao Zijuan said uneasily, Aunt, what happened to my mom? They were asleep throughout the night and had no idea what had transpired. And Aitsuehua smiled, Your mom is fine, she just wasn't feeling well. She's in the hospital right now. We'll go see her after breakfast. Is my mom really okay? Zhao Zijuan asked. She really is. And Aitsuehua patted his head, Hurry and eat. Zhao Ziqing finished her meal before Zhao Zijuan and said to Aitsuehua, Aunt, I don't want to go to the hospital. Can I go home instead? Today is the first day of the new year, and Dad said he would take me to Aunt Lin Fang's house to pay a New Year visit. The smile on Ni Kuihua's face turned rigid. Shengguan Dehui banged his chopsticks on the table. Don't mention Lin Fang's name again. The air grew quiet. Zhao Ziqing was frightened into tears. All right, let's not scare the child during the holiday. And Aitsuehua squatted down to comfort Zhao Ziqing. After breakfast, the family, carrying a thermos, went to the hospital to visit Shengguan Furong. When they arrived, Madame Shengguan was just coming out of the ward with a water bottle. Why are you here so early? Have you eaten yet? I was just about to get some hot water from the boiler room. Shengguan Dehui asked, Mother, has Furong woken up? She has. Madame Shengguan nodded. Shengguan Dehui glanced inside. Has anyone from the Zhao family arrived yet? Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 711. Retribution _1 Lady Shengguan shook her head. From last night until now, no one from the Zhao family has shown their face. Hearing that, Shengguan Dihui's face was covered with a layer of anger. And Aitsuehua took the water bottle from Lady Shengguan's hand. Mom, I'll go fetch water, you go in and eat. Lady Shengguan nodded. They all went into the ward together. Shengguan Furong was sitting at the head of the bed. Her pale face lacked any color. Zhao Zijuan rushed over instantly. Mom. Zijuan. Zhao Ziqing stood by the side. She didn't like her mother, because her mother never took care of her or looked after her. She liked her grandmother, her father, her brother, and Aunt Lin Fong. Mom, you are okay, right? Worry flickered in Zhao Zijuan's eyes. Mom is okay. Shengguan Furong shook her head. Shengguan Dehui sat on the sofa without saying a word. Yang set the thermos on the coffee table and scooped out a bowl of chicken soup for Shengguan Furong. Auntie, drink soup. Thank you, Yang. Zhao Zijuan took the chicken soup. Mom, let me feed you. All right, Shengguan Furong nodded. Zhao Zijuan carefully fed Shengguan Furong spoonfuls of chicken soup. The chicken soup contained Chinese medicine and tasted slightly bitter. As she drank, Shengguan Furong's eyes grew red. Only through a near-death experience did she come to realize. On this earth, nothing is as precious as life and familial love. The mood was slightly somber. After finishing the chicken soup, Shengguan Furong looked at Shengguan Dehui. who was sitting on the sofa, "Brother, I'm sorry. Do you realize your mistake?" Shangguan Dehui looked up. "I do," Shangguan Farong nodded. "I will live well from now on, and won't do anything foolish." Shangguan Dehui continued. "Do you realize that it's not just Zhao Shen's fault, but you also made a mistake?" "Yes." Ni Yang stood up at the right moment. "Brother, Sister Xiaoxi, let's take Zijuan and Ziqing out for a walk. It's too stuffy in here." The grudges and disputes amongst the adults didn't do well for the children to hear. It wasn't good for their growth. "Okay." Shangguan Shi immediately responded. Shangguan Su carried little Ni Yun, while Ni Yang and Shangguan Shi, together with Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing, left the room. After the children left, the atmosphere in the ward became oppressive. Shangguan Dehui spoke silently. "Your domineering, unreasonable behavior and extremism have not only harmed yourself, but also almost harmed the two kids. If it weren't for Yang Yang last night, had you jumped down with the two kids, do you know what the consequences would be?" Lady Shangguan sighed. Shangguan Farong lowered her head, tears falling from her eyes. What Shangguan Dehui said was true. In this marriage, it wasn't just Zhao Shen's mistake, she also made mistakes. It was fortunate that last night she did not jump down with the two children. Otherwise, it would have been a grave mistake. "Brother, I realize my mistake, I truly do." Shangguan Farong closed her eyes. Yang Yang was right, a woman doesn't necessarily need to spend her lifetime with a man. "So, I have decided to divorce Zhao Shen. I don't want anything else except the two children." This time, she truly let go. Shangguan Dehui sighed. "It's good if you can think clearly." In a while, Ni Cuihua walked in with the water bottle. The children also came in from outside. Having stayed in the hospital for so long, Zhao Ziqing was very bored. She looked up at Ni Cuihua. "Auntie, when can I go home? I miss my grandma, my dad." She originally wanted to add that she missed Aunt Lin Fong too, but when she saw Shangguan Dehui's face, she swallowed the rest of her words. And Ni Cuihua felt a bit awkward for a moment, not knowing how to answer Zhao Ziqing. According to Shangguan Furong's intention, these two siblings probably wouldn't be going back to the Zhao family. They were two pitiful children. Shangguan Furong beckoned to Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing. "Zijuan, Ziqing, both of you come here." "Mom." Zhao Zijuan pulled Zhao Ziqing's hand and walked over. "Zijuan, Ziqing," Shangguan Furong held the hands of the two siblings. "Mother wants to ask you, do you want to go home?" Zhao Ziqing instantly nodded, "Yes." "What about you, Zijuan?" Shangguan Furong looked at Zhao Zijuan. Zhao Zijuan, being slightly older than Zhao Ziqing, was quite mature for his age. He hesitated. "I want to go home with Mom." Shangguan Furong smiled. "Mom can't go back." "She could never go back." "Why?" Zhao Zijuan asked. Source: web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 712, Retribution_2. "Because your father is now with Aunt Lin Fong," Shangguan Furong replied calmly. Zhao Ziqing laughed and joined in. "I really like Aunt Lin Fong." Shangguan Furong felt a sharp twist in her heart, but she maintained a smile on her face. "Now, I would give both of you a choice. Do you want to be with your mom or your dad?" "I want to be with Dad," Zhao Ziqing announced without hesitation. Zhao Zijuan hesitated for a moment. "Mom, can I have both?" Albeit young, Zhao Zijuan knew that once he chose one, he would lose the other. He wanted both his father and mother. "No, you can't." Shangguan Furong shook her head. Then, Zhao Zijuan didn't know how to choose. He didn't want to hurt his mother, but he wanted to be with his father. The teacher once said that a mother is the greatest person in the world. Without his mother, there would be no him. It was his mother who gave him life. It was also his mother who risked her life to give birth to him. If he chose Dad, wouldn't Mom be very sad? But, if he chose his mother, what would happen to his father and grandmother? What should he do? Zhao Zijuan began to sob, and hastily wiped his eyes. The atmosphere instantly turned mournful. Both Madame Shangguan and Ni Cuihua began to tear up. The most painful thing in this world is not death, but separation in life. Brother, don't cry, let's choose dad. Zhao Ziqing tugged Zhao Zijin's sleeve. Shengguan Furong reclined to the head of the bed and said with a light tone, Brother, please take them home. Furong, what about you? An alarmed Madame Shengguan exclaimed. Shengguan Furong shut her eyes. I respect the children's choice. She wasn't a qualified mother. She gave the children life but not the care and attention a mother should provide. This time, she wouldn't force the children to stay by her side. Shengguan Dehui nodded, stood up and said, Zijuan, Ziqing, let's go. Zhao Ziqing held Zhao Zijin's hand and said cheerfully, Great, I can go home now. Brother, let's go. Watching her children gradually disappear from her sight, Shengguan Furong couldn't help but succumb to her tears, falling like broken beads. Just as they were about to step out of the room, Zhao Zijuan abruptly freed himself from Zhao Ziqing's hand, sprinted to Shengguan Furong, and wept. I want to be with Mom. I want to be with Mom. Mom, I'm not going. If both he and his sister left, then Mom would become all alone. He did not want to leave his mother alone. Zijuan. Shengguan Furong held Zhao Zijuan, sobbing uncontrollably. She did not anticipate that the one to stay with her in the end would be Zhao Zijuan. Nobody had expected Zhao Zijuan to suddenly run back. The atmosphere turned more oppressive and stifling. Brother, aren't you coming home with me? Zhao Ziqing tugged at Zhao Zijin's sleeve. Ziqing, go home, I will stay with Mom. Zhao Zijuan wiped his tears, turned back to look at Shengguan Furong. Mom, can I still see Ziqing in the future? You can. Shengguan Furong nodded. Brother, Zhao Ziqing pulled at Zhao Zijin's sleeve. I want to be with you. Let's go home together. The bond between these two siblings was really strong. They grew up together and could never bear to part with one another. This sudden separation caused Zhao Ziqing to break down in tears. Ziqing, be good, don't cry. Zhao Zijuan choked back a sob and forced a smile. I'll visit you when Mom gets discharged. I don't want to be separated from you, brother. Zhao Ziqing held onto Zhao Zijuan tightly. Madame Shengguan also broke down in tears. Furong, is this divorce absolutely necessary? She was pained for the children. Once Lin Fang enters the Zhao family, it is predictable that Zhao Ziqing's days won't be pleasant. Both young siblings, one without a father, the other without a mother. The divorce is necessary. Shengguan Furong held back her tears. Madame Shengguan sighed. How tragic. To avoid prolonged pain, Shengguan Dehui swiftly picked up Zhao Ziqing and moved forward. Zhao Ziqing cried and struggled. Uncle, let me go. I want my brother. Brother. Zhao Zijuan watched Zhao Ziqing. Ziqing, you must listen to Dad and Grandmother at home. Brother. Zhao Ziqing's crying gradually faded in the distance. Zhao Zijuan wiped his tears, turned back to look at Shengguan Furong, and smiled. Mom, I'm okay. Good child. Good child. Madame Shengguan couldn't help but pulled Zhao Zijuan into her arms. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 713, Retribution_3. Shengguan Dehui drove all the way to bring Zhao Ziqing back to the Zhao family. After what happened last night, Shengguan Dehui couldn't face his own family. He was afraid of his impulse to hit Zhao Shen and crouched down to tell Ziqing, Ziqing, you should go in quick, your grandma and father are waiting for you inside. Zhao Ziqing's condition had stabilized a lot, but her eyes were still red. Uncle, aren't you coming in? Shengguan Dehui shook his head. Uncle has things to do, but I'll watch you from here until you go in. Zhao Ziqing said, Goodbye, Uncle. Goodbye. Shengguan Dehui watched Zhao Ziqing walk through the grand entrance, and then he drove away. As soon as Zhao Ziqing entered the house, the butler noticed her. The young lady is back. Madam, the young lady is back. Butler grandfather. Zhao Ziqing sniffled. Madame Zhao was reciting sutras in the Buddha hall when she heard the butler's call. She came running out from inside. Ziqing is back. Where is your brother, Ziqing? Brother is with Mom. Zhao Ziqing answered. Is your mother all right? Madame Zhao asked in surprise. Zhao Ziqing nodded her head. Madame Zhao continued, "Where is your mother now?" "Mom is at the hospital," Zhao Ziqing replied. Upon learning that Shangguan Furong was all right, Madame Shangguan sighed in relief. "Amitabha, thanks to the blessing of the Bodhisattva. It's good that she is all right. Who brought you home?" "Uncle brought me home," answered Zhao Ziqing. "Grandma, brother doesn't want us anymore." "I want brother." As she spoke, Zhao Ziqing began to cry. Madame Zhao was shocked. "Ziqing, what happened?" Through her sobs, Zhao Ziqing said, "It was Mom. Mom made us choose between her and Dad. I chose Dad, brother chose Mom, woo-woo. I want brother." Madame Zhao's eyebrows knitted slightly, sensing an ominous premonition. Zhao Zijuan was their legitimate eldest grandson. How could he choose to stay with Shangguan Furong? This was definitely the doing of Shangguan family. Otherwise, why had they left Zhao Ziqing behind, and only kept Zhao Zijuan? After all, Zhao Zijuan was a boy. "Ziqing, don't cry. Your brother will be back. You play around at home first. Grandma is going to make a trip to see your mom." "Grandma, are you going to bring brother back?" "Yes." Madame Zhao nodded her head. She needed to see what was up with Shangguan Furong, while also testing the attitude of the Shangguan family. Zhao Shen couldn't keep hiding all the time. Madame Zhao called the driver and made a trip to the hospital. She also brought along many nutritional supplements. When knocking at the door, Madame Zhao was very nervous. Yes, the Zhao family had not handled the incident well. She was an old lady, so the Shangguan family wouldn't physically harm her, would they? The one who opened the door was Enai Zihua. Madame Zhao smiled. "Aunt?" Enai Zihua nodded. "You're here." Carrying her nutritional supplements, Madame Zhao walked in. "Furong, are you okay? You gave me quite a scare last night." On seeing Madame Zhao, Shangguan Furong was initially stunned, then she shook her head. "I'm okay now." "That's good to hear." Madame Zhao turned her gaze to Madame Shangguan, her face full of guilt. "Elder sister, our Zhao family has wronged you." As the wrong was not done by Madame Zhao, even if Madame Shangguan was angry, she wouldn't take it out on her. "It's not your Zhao family that did us wrong. It's Furong who you've wronged." Yes, Furong could be a bit impulsive, but without Zhao Shen's indulgence over the years, could she have turned out this way? From the time of the incident last night to now, not a single person from your Zhao family has come over, not even a phone call. Doesn't human life mean anything to you? Furong might not be perfect, but she gave birth to 2 children for your Zhao family. Madame Shangguan's words were both factually and morally sound, so Madame Zhao found it difficult to refute. "You're right, we didn't handle this incident appropriately." Enai Hua brought over a chair. "Please sit." "Thank you, Aunt." Madame Zhao sat down as instructed. Soon, Enai Yang came in with Zhao Zijuan. Seeing Madame Zhao, Zhao Zijuan ran over excitedly. "Grandma!" "Zijuan!" Madame Zhao patted Zhao Zijuan's head and asked with a smile, "Zijuan, why didn't you come home with your sister?" Zhao Zijuan shook his head. "I want to stay and accompany Mom." Madame Zhao was stunned. She hadn't expected that Zhao Zijuan would voluntarily stay with Shangguan Furong. Source: Web Novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 714. Retribution_4. Upon hearing Zhao Ziqing's recount, she had assumed that the Shangguan family was deliberately keeping Zhao Zijuan from coming home. After all, Zhao Zijuan, who she personally raised, had no reason to abandon her. What on earth was going on? Madame Zhao continued, "But your sister misses you so much at home, don't you want to play with her?" Zhao Zijuan replied, "Once Mom is better, she will take me to see my sister." "Grandma, rest assured, even if I'm by Mom's side, you will always be my grandma and I will take good care of you when I grow up." Madame Zhao's eyes reddened. She turned to Shangguan Furong. "Furong? My boy is still so young, how can you bear?" Shangguan Furong changed the subject. "Mom, where is Zhao Shen? Why haven't we seen him?" True enough. Where was Zhao Shen? He was the father of the 2 siblings and, technically, Shangguan Furong's husband. Today Madame Zhao could refrain from visiting the hospital, however, Xiaoxin must come. It was his responsibility as a father and a husband. It was a man's duty. Shangguan Dehui furrowed his brow. Madame Zhao seemed hesitant. He is feeling a bit under the weather, resting at home. Shangguan Furong was not suspicious, nodding her head. Then could you please tell him to come to the hospital once he feels better? I have something to discuss with him. What do you need to discuss with him? You can talk to me too, responded Madame Zhao. Just by looking at Shangguan Dehui's menacing face, one could tell his prejudices. Would Zhao Shen live to tell the tale if he showed up now? Shangguan Furong calmly said, about the divorce. Divorce? Madame Zhao's eyes dimmed for a moment. Furong, have you thought it through? Shangguan Furong nodded. And what about Zijuan? Madame Zhao continued. Zijuan will stay with me, said Shangguan Furong. Madame Zhao was startled. Why? Shangguan Furong replied, it's Zijuan's own decision. But Zijuan is the blood of our Zhao family. Madame Zhao's voice filled with excitement. Shangguan Furong calmly replied, Zijuan is also the child I carried in my womb for 10 months. She almost died of heavy bleeding during birth. This was the foreshadowing of future trouble. After the near tragedy of childbirth, Zhao Shen cherished her and did not let her lift a finger. He even hired a nanny for their child. But Madame Zhao, who dotes on her grandson, took care of the child herself. She was treasured by the Zhao family and could act as she pleased. It was thanks to Zhao Shen's love and care that she, disregarding her childbirth trauma, had another child for him 2 years later, fulfilling Zhao Shen's dream of having both a son and a daughter. And after that, their love remained strong as ever. Zhao Shen always listened to her, even suggesting they have more children, but peculiarly, aside from Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing, she had no more children over the years. Madame Zhao continued, Feng, you can't be so heartless. The Zhao family has only Zijuan. If you take him away, it's like taking my life. Shangguan Furong was still as calm as ever. Mom, Ziqing is also the blood of the Zhao family. It's not the same, it's not the same. How could a boy and a girl be the same? A boy represents the heritage of a family. A daughters marry out like water poured out. Zhao Ziqing is going to marry sooner or later. Shangguan Furong continued, Mom, let Zhao Shen talk to me. At that time, I will let Zijuan and Ziqing decide again. If both of them choose Zhao Shen, I will not object. She won't force things. Are you serious? Madame Zhao was suspicious of the authenticity of the situation. She suspected Shangguan Furong was tricking her, luring Zhao Shen out. Seriously, Shangguan Furong nodded. Madame Zhao continued, but Zhao Shen is a bit indisposed right now. After last night's harsh beating, the doctor says he needs to recuperate for some time. Did Zhao Shen run away? Shangguan Dehui unexpectedly interjected. Madame Zhao was taken aback. How did Shangguan Dehui know Zhao Shen had run away? Shangguan Dehui smiled. Madam, please go back and pass my message to Zhao Shen. As a man, I despise him. He knew only to run when faced with a problem. Where was the dignity of a man? Madame Zhao said, Uncle, you misunderstood. Zhao Shen didn't run away. He is just seriously injured. The implication was that they, the Zhao family, had no intention to pursue Shangguan Dehui over this. Thus Shangguan Dehui had no reason not to be pleased. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 715, Retribution_5. Now she was still inquiring about the whereabouts of Zhao Shen. Old lady, you should know about my temper. If I had really acted ruthlessly, he wouldn't have the strength to escape. Shangguan Dehui may have been angry last night, but he hadn't been harsh. Madame Shangguan stepped in at the right moment. All right, Ziqing's grandmother, Feng needs to rest now. You should go back. When Zhao Shen recovers from his injury, then come over. Evading certain matters just won't do. Issues that need to be resolved still have to be resolved. Old Madame Zhao got up from the chair. If that's the case, then I'll leave first. Zijuan, would you like to come home with your grandmother? No, Zhao Zijuan shook his head. Grandma, you go ahead first. Zijuan, your little sister has been crying at home. She says that if you don't go back, she won't stop crying. Old Madame Zhao continued, you're a good big brother. Can you bear to let Ziqing cry at home? Zhao Zijuan must not stay at the Shangguans. If the Shangguan family were to sow discord from within, bad-mouthing the Zhao family, and then Zhao Zijuan no longer recognized her as his grandmother or Zhao Shen as his father, what should she do then? Children are like blank sheets of paper, they will do as adults tell them to. Zhao Zijuan is the eldest grandson of the Zhao family, she couldn't let outsiders corrupt him. Zhao Zijuan continued, my little sister is very obedient, as long as you console her a bit more, she won't cry. Grandma, you go back first. Zijuan, don't you want your grandma anymore? Old Madame Zhao's eyes suddenly reddened. I am your real grandmother, Zijuan, don't you want your grandmother anymore? No, Grandma, it's not that I don't want you, I just want to stay with Mom. Grandma, you've always been my grandma. Zhao Zijuan became flustered. He didn't understand why it had come to this. And Ai Yang came over and said, Grandma Zhao, since Zijuan doesn't want to go back with you right now, you should go first. Don't worry, nobody here will bully Zijuan. This is scaring him. And Ai Yang's voice was light and gentle, pleasing to the ear. Old Madame Zhao sighed and finally let go of Zhao Zijuan, then Grandma will go home first. Zhao Zijuan nodded. After Old Madame Zhao left, Zhao Zijuan ran to Shangguan Furong. Mom, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere, I will stay here with you. Good. Shangguan Furong nodded. After old lady Zhao left the hospital, she felt uneasy no matter what. The longer Zhao Zijuan stayed at Shangguan's, the more likely he was to be brainwashed by the Shangguan family and might end up not recognizing anyone. It seemed she must quickly get in touch with Zhao Shen. After several transfers, old Madame Zhao finally met Zhao Shen in an inn. Lin Fong was also there. Mom, why are you here? Zhao Shen quickly put down his bowl and chopsticks. Since she had accepted Lin Fong as one of their own, old Madame Shangguan did not hesitate to tell them the whole story. Upon hearing this, Lin Fong could not hide her joy. Divorce. That's great. They were finally getting a divorce. Shen Bao, Zijuan is our descendant of Zhao family, how can we just give him to the Shangguan family? Why don't you negotiate with Furong, give Ziqing to her if it's okay, anyway we can't give Zijuan to her. As she spoke, old Madame Zhao started to cry. Lin Fong quickly said, Auntie is right, Zijuan carries the Zhao family's bloodline and heritage, we can't let the Shangguan family take him away. It's just a child. If he were to come back, it wouldn't pose any threat to her. She had her ways of dealing with children. Old Madame Zhao excitedly held Lin Fang's hand. Xiaolin understands me. Zhao Shen then asked, is Furong okay now? Old Madame Zhao said, good people don't live long, but the scourges last for 1,000 years. Rest assured, she's fine. Zhao Shen breathed a sigh of relief. What about brother? Is he still angry? Old Madame Zhao frowned. Looking at Shangguan Dehui, I could tell he was still quite angry. How about this? You bring a few more people when you go. If he dares beat you, we won't be afraid of the Shangguan family. Things had come to this point, and they could only risk a chance. Now you pack up and come back with me, and we will discuss what we should do. Then we will pay a visit to the Shangguan family. All right. Zhao Shen nodded. Lin Fong returned to the Zhao family with them. The Zhao family was magnificent and luxurious. Comparing it to the Chang family was like comparing heaven and earth. Lin Fong felt extraordinarily pleased thinking about how she would soon become the mistress of this place. Source: Web Novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 716, Retribution_6. I should go back home. My mother-in-law must be hungry by now. Lin Fong said, trying to gain Mrs. Zhao's favor in the late hour. Go on. Mrs. Zhao nodded approvingly, and as she watched Lin Fong leave, she spoke to Shen Bao. She's a good woman. You won't make a mistake with her. Shen Bao replied, nodding his head. After resting at home for another day, Shunbao took his daughter, Ziqing, to the hospital to see Shangguan Furong on the third morning. The ones accompanying Furong in the hospital that day were Mrs. Shangguan, Dehui and Denai Zihua. No other younger family members were present. Upon seeing Shunbao, Dehui managed to suppress his urge to lash out, and his face darkened immeasurably. "Mom, brother," Shunbao spoke up first. The room fell silent, no one responded. "You're here, have a seat," Furong said, sitting up from the bed. When she addressed Shunbao, she remained incredibly composed. "It's okay, I can stand," Shunbao said. He wasn't a fool to take a seat under such circumstances. "Here is the divorce agreement, please read it." Furong handed the document to him. Shunbao was stunned at Furong's calm demeanor. He slowly took the agreement and began reading. "Since Ziqing is here too, feel free to discuss with who they'd like to stay." Furong said nonchalantly, "I want to stay with Dad." Ziqing stuck with her decision. Just like 4 days prior, she didn't hesitate to choose Shunbao. "I choose my mom," Zijuan stated. Remembering his mother's request, Shunbao found himself at a loss for words momentarily before pleading. "Furong, Zijuan is the only boy from the Zhao family, can you?" "That depends on Zijuan," responded Furong. "As long as they're willing, I don't mind if both of them stay with you." "Zijuan, don't you want to stay with your father and grandmother?" Shunbao squat down to engage Zijuan. Zijuan replied, "You have Ziqing to keep you and grandmother company. Dad, don't worry. Even if I stay with Mom, I will always be your son and I will always come home to visit you and Ziqing. If neither of them wants to stay with their mother, she's pitiful." Shunbao pondered, then asked, "What if Ziqing wants to stay with her mom? Will you leave with me?" Upon hearing this, not just Zijuan, but also Furong, Dehui, Mrs. Shangguan, and even Enai Zuihua were taken aback. No one expected Shunbao to consider giving up Ziqing for Zijuan. What was he thinking? Although Ziqing was young, she grasped the implication in her father's words and immediately began to cry, "Dad, don't you want me anymore? Did Ziqing do something wrong? I want Dad. I don't want to stay with Mom." Shunbao was in immense pain. But he had no choice. He held Ziqing tightly. "Ziqing, I'm sorry. Can you exchange places with your brother? Dad is begging you. He is kneeling down." With that, Shunbao knelt. "No, no," wailed Ziqing, frightened, her crying intensifying. "Shunbao, are you even human?" Dehui roared, yanking Shunbao to his feet. "Uncle, don't hit my dad." Zijuan clung to Dehui's leg. Crying out loud, Shunbao confessed, "I have no choice, no choice." He wanted both of his children, but it was impossible in this situation. For the sake of the children, Dehui then let go of Shunbao. Ziqing clung to her father's leg bawling, "Ziqing will be good and listen to Dad. Dad, don't abandon me." "I don't want to stay with Mom." Mrs. Shangguan and Enai Zuihua also started crying. "What's happening here?" "Come with me," Dehui demanded, patting Shunbao's shoulder. Shunbao slowly rose to his feet. "Uncle." Zijuan worried he was going to make things harder for Shunbao. "Don't worry, Zijuan, I just want to talk to your dad." Dehui escorted Shunbao to an empty room next door, locked the door, and without a word, punched Shunbao in the face. "This punch is for Furong and the kids. After this, you're no longer part of our family. You're an unworthy father and an unworthy husband." Shunbao's recently healed face started swelling again. Immediately after speaking, Dehui raised his fist again and Shunbao instinctively tried to dodge. But to his surprise, Dehui directed his punch toward his own face. Was he really hitting himself? Source: Web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 717. Retribution _7 Zhaoshan was stunned. After the punch, Shangguan Dihui's face was red and swollen. He spat out a mouthful of blood on the ground. "This punch, I owe it to your Zhao family. As the elder brother, I failed to manage my little sister properly, letting her do as she pleased and cause such a major disaster. Zhao Shen's infidelity was unforgivable. Shangguan Furong's arrogance fueled by favoritism too was unforgivable. Both of them were equally to blame. Brother, Zhao Shen choked out, I was wrong, I really was. Shangguan Dehui licked the back of his teeth. From now on, our two families will have no relation whatsoever. You should go back to addressing me as Mr. Shangguan. After finishing, Shangguan Dehui pulled open the door and left without looking back. Zhao Shen stood in place, crying bitterly. Only after a while did he walk out of the room. Upon exiting, he discovered that Shangguan Dehui had not gone to the ward but was on the corridor, smoking a cigarette. It had been more than 20 years since he had seen Shangguan Dehui smoke. Go in. Shangguan Dehui extinguished the butt of the cigarette. Both their faces were red and swollen, an embarrassing sight that startled both Grandma Shangguan and Natihua. Were these two men involved in a fight? Dehui you? Shangguan Dehui waved his hand. It's okay, I knocked myself. What coincidence, the two of them bumped into something simultaneously. Zhao Shen signed his name on the divorce agreement and stamped his seal. At this real moment of relief, he should feel relaxed, but for some reason, his mood was surprisingly heavy, very heavy. Zhao Ziqing walked over and carefully tugged at Zhao Shen's clothes. Dad, you won't abandon me, right? No. Zhao Shen shook his head, handing over the signed divorce papers to Shangguan Furong. As he was leaving, Zhao Shen said, Ziqing, go hug your mother. No. Ziqing shook her head. She didn't like her mother. It was her mother who separated her and her brother. She would never forgive her mother in this lifetime. She liked Auntie Lin Fong. Let's go. Shangguan Dehui looked at everyone else, then said, Ziqing, say goodbye to your grandmother, your mother, and your uncles. Goodbye. Zhao Ziqing waved her hand. Little sister. Tears welled up in Zhao Zijin's eyes. Brother. Just as Zhao Ziqing was about to reach for Zijin's hand, Zhao Shen scooped her up. Ziqing, it's time for us to go home. Zhao Ziqing started crying and complaining. To prevent their mother from getting upset, Zhao Zijuan held back his tears. Shangguan Furong couldn't bear to see them this way. Zijuan, go see off your little sister. Zhao Zijuan sprinted out to chase after the departing black car, chasing it far and far away. Little sister, don't worry, I will come to see you. I promise. At the Zhao's family house. From the moment Zhao Shen left, Grandma Zhao had been standing at the gate, watching for Zhao Shen's return. At last, she noticed the familiar car arriving. Grandma Zhao quickly rushed to greet it, Zijuan. But the ones who got out of the car were Zhao Shen and Zhao Ziqing. Zhao Zijuan was nowhere to be seen. Grandma Zhao's face turned ashen. Where's Zijuan? Zhao Shen reluctantly replied. Zijuan chose to go with Furong. What? Grandma Zhao raised her cane. Unfilial son. How could you let the bloodline of our Zhao family just slip away? Weren't you supposed to switch Ziqing and Zijuan? You unfilial son. After all, Shangguan Furong can still bear more children, but the Zhao family only has one eldest grandson. Zhao Ziqing, looking at Grandma Zhao, felt that her grandmother was a frightening stranger. Why didn't her grandmother want her? Zhao Shen sighed. Mother, Ziqing is also the flesh and blood of our Zhao family. Can they be the same? Go and bring Zijuan back immediately. Bring my great-grandson back. I want my great-grandson. Grandma Zhao cried and complained. Suddenly she blacked out and collapsed. Zhao Shen was frightened. Mom. The doctor soon arrived. After some resuscitation, he sighed. The old lady has suffered a stroke as a result of acute anger. There is no immediate danger to her life now, but she will have after effects. What kind of after effects? Zhao Shen questioned impatiently. The doctor casually adjusted his glasses. She will be bedridden due to hemiplegia and will also have difficulty speaking. Source: web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 7:18. An I Yang takes action. _1 Hearing the doctor's words, Zhao Shen felt a thud in his heart. Stroke? Paralysis? Is there any chance of my mother recovering? Zhao Shen asked next. The doctor shook his head regretfully. Zhao Shen's face turned terribly pale in an instant. How could this be? He clutched his head in agony, slowly sliding down until he sat against the door frame. Dad! Zhao Ziqing tugged at Zhao Shen's sleeve. Zhao Shen grabbed Zhao Ziqing and burst into loud sobs. Zhao Ziqing was also scared into crying. Upon learning that Madame Zhao had been paralyzed, Lin Fang was exceptionally pleased. Since times immemorial, the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law was the most complex. Now, once she married into the Zhao family, she wouldn't have to worry about this issue. Chang Yu also felt very happy. Even though she couldn't become the daughter of the Shangguan family, the Zhao family wasn't bad either. The Zhao family, after all, was also a prominent family. Her ultimate goal was to be a wealthy young lady. She didn't mind whose daughter she ended up as. Mom, when can we move into the Zhao family's home? Ever since Chang Yu witnessed the grandeur of the Zhao family, she became dissatisfied with her own home. Lin Fang narrowed her eyes. Soon, this time, there is no one to stand in our way. That very day, Lin Fang visited the Zhao family to offer Zhao Shen and Zhao Ziqing her warmth. Zhao Shen was moved by Lin Fang and gradually emerged from his grief. A month later, Shangguan Furong was successfully discharged from the hospital. And Lin Fang and Zhao Shen joyfully entered the realm of matrimony. Perhaps out of guilt, or a wish to keep a low profile, they didn't have a big wedding, only inviting some of the Zhao relatives. Madame Zhao, sitting in her wheelchair, wore a look of contentment as she watched Zhao Shen and Lin Fang. It was okay for her to lose a grandson. Lin Fang was still young and able to bear children. She was certain that she could wait until the birth of her great-grandson. Madame Zhao's eyes were filled with determination. Chang Yu went from ordinary girl to wealthy daughter and suddenly became the center of attention. Everywhere she went, she was surrounded by people. Whenever she saw Ni Yang at school, she wore a contemptuous expression, acting as if her nose was in the air. What was Ni Yang? A petty trader who could not make a public appearance. She was the rich heir of the Zhao family. Could she even be compared with her? Ni Yang was there to take an entrance exam that day. As she walked to the classroom door, she was blocked by an arm. What do you want? Her eyes lifted slightly, her clear face tinged with a hint of anger. Ni Yang, look, this is 20 yuan. If you crawl under my arm and bark like a dog, this money will be yours. Chang Yu held up 2 big notes, her face filled with satisfaction. Why did Ni Yang become a petty trader? Wasn't it for money? She could finally trample Ni Yang under her foot. With money, Chang Yu could make Ni Yang work like an ox or a horse. A good dog does not stand in the way. If you're sick, go to the hospital. The school is not a place for you to act out. Ni Yang gracefully raised her hand, seemingly without any effort, swiped off Chang Yu's arm. Chang Yu staggered, almost falling down. Chang Yu turned white with anger. You dare to push me? So what if I pushed you? Ni Yang turned her gaze back slightly, a touch of wanton smile on her lips. Not content. She was rather defiant. Chang Yu was almost choked to death by Ni Yang's attitude. When Ni Yang was a petty trader, she was suppressed by her. Now even though she has become a wealthy lady, Ni Yang still suppresses her. Why, on what basis does Ni Yang do this? Ni Yang, you little slut. You dare to push me. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is? Believe it or not, I'll tell my dad and you won't get away with it. Chang Yu hissed nastily. Ni Yang gave a slight smile. I don't know who your dad is, but I know who your mom is, a mistress who is willing to sleep with any man. By the way, do you know what a mistress is? A person who deliberately interferes with other people's happy families. Seeing you being so smug, your mom must have been very successful in stealing someone else's man, right? Ni Yang always had a score to settle. If Chang Yu didn't offend her, she naturally wouldn't divulge this matter in front of the whole class, but now Chang Yu made her uncomfortable and she didn't feel obliged to turn the other cheek. Moreover, she wasn't the type to pay back kindness with ingratitude. As soon as these words came out, the whole class, some dozens of pairs of eyes, all looked towards Chang Yu. A mistress. It wasn't a good reputation. No wonder Chang Yu suddenly became rich recently, and all the clothes she wore cost a couple of 100 yuan each. So it turned out that her mother had done something scandalous. Chang Yu's face suddenly turned white. Source: web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 719. An Yang takes action. _2. An Yang, that damned little bitch. How did she know? What are you spouting nonsense about? An Yang walked to her seat and meticulously arranged her books. If I'm spouting nonsense, you can sue me for defamation in court. Chang Yu had nothing to say, her feelings bottling up in her chest, making her feel suffocated. Just you wait. She will definitely get her revenge. Chang Yu turned around and walked out of the classroom. Anyway, she's now a wealthy young lady. Whether she studies or goes to college doesn't matter. She's not like An Yang, that little bitch, who has to rely on university to change her life. The next day, Shangguan Furong took Zhao Zijuan to the Zhao family to see Zhao Ziqing. But Lin Fong blocked the door and did not let her in. Lin Fong, you have no right to keep me out. Shangguan Furong squinted her eyes. Lin Fong said smugly, I am now the mistress of this house, and I decide who can come in. I tell you now that you have no right to set foot in our house. Shangguan Furong did not want to argue with her. I am still Ziqing's mother. What right do you have to prevent me from coming in? Lin Fong gave Shangguan Furong a look. It depends on whether Ziqing still recognizes you as her mother. Ziqing, come here. Chang Yu, holding Zhao Ziqing's hand, came out. Mom, did you call me? Lin Fong nodded. Ziqing, come to Mom. Shangguan Furong was stunned. She did not expect Zhao Ziqing to switch so quickly. Is Lin Fong really that good? Making her call Mom so sweetly? Lin Fong pointed at Shangguan Furong. Ziqing, do you want this woman to come into our house? I don't want to. Zhao Ziqing shook her head. Zhao Zijuan got anxious. Sister, she is our mother. Zhao Ziqing said, she is not my mother. Aunt Lin Fong is 1,000 times better than Shangguan Furong. Zhao Ziqing continued, brother, you don't follow her. Come back to Mom and Dad, or I'll ignore you. She's not our mother. Zhao Zijuan said, she is Aunt Lin Fong. Ziqing, how can you not even recognize your mother? Then you are not my brother. I don't want you anymore. Zhao Ziqing yelled out in anger. After yelling, Zhao Ziqing took Chang Yu's hand and said, Sister, let's go. Zhao Ziqing has been very happy during this time. Lin Fong treats her better than her own daughter, and she has long since forgotten others. Shangguan Furong watched Zhao Ziqing's departing figure in disbelief, her eyes slowly turning red. This was her own doing, she could blame no one else. Lin Fong scoffed and said, See, it's your own daughter who doesn't recognize you. It has nothing to do with me. Hurry up and leave, you are not welcome here. A divorced woman still wandering around, aren't you ashamed? Shangguan Furong took a deep breath. Where is Zhao Xin? I want to see Zhao Xin. She had a peaceful divorce with Zhao Xin. They agreed during their divorce that as long as Zijuan misses them, he can visit the Zhao family at any time. Zhao Xin will not see you, get out. If I have to call the servants, it will be embarrassing for everyone. Don't think Lin Fong didn't know what Shangguan Furong was thinking. She just wanted to seduce Zhao Xin, to rekindle their old flame, right? No way. It had only been 3 days since she had married Zhao Xin, and here was Shangguan Furong, already trying to interfere. How shameless! As long as she was there, she would never let Shangguan Furong see Zhao Xin. Mom, let's go. Zhao Zijuan tugged at Shangguan Furong's sleeve. I don't want to see Dad anymore, and I don't miss Grandma. He didn't want his mother to bear the brunt of others' displeasure. Aunt Lin Fong was quite gentle and kind before, but he didn't know why she had changed like this now. However, as long as he knew that his sister was doing well now, he was at ease. Before Shangguan Furong could respond, Lin Fong slammed the front gate shut and ordered the servants not to open the door to Shangguan Furong in the future. On their wedding day, Lin Fong dismissed the old butler, and there was a major reshuffling of the Zhao family staff. Now, the Zhao family was no longer what it used to be. As soon as Lin Fong entered the villa, Zhao Xin came out from inside, Who was that outside just now? Just someone asking for directions. Lin Fang replied. Oh. Zhao Shen nodded, not suspecting anything. To demonstrate her devotion and virtues, Lin Fang then said, Shen, let me take care of our mom from now on. No matter what, the servants are outsiders and I'm a little worried. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 720, Anai Yang Takes Action. _3. Lady Zhao is now unable to speak, even if the maid treats her badly, she can't voice it. In fact, Zhao Shen is quite concerned. Zhao Shen trusts Lin Fang more than other maids. Zhao Shen nodded with a smile, then I'll have to trouble you. It's not troublesome. Lin Fang shook her head, this is what I should do as a daughter-in-law. I also have experience from taking care of my mother-in-law. Lady Chang is now also living at Zhao's house. Her condition is similar to Lady Zhao's, paralyzed and mute. Zhao Shen said emotionally, Lin Fang, to be able to marry you, is my good fortune for 3 lifetimes. Lin Fang's face flushed. Then that night, to show that she really had experience and devotion, Lin Fang changed Lady Zhao's diapers and cleaned her in front of Zhao Shen. There was a particular smell in the room, but Lin Fang's face was full of smiles. In the twinkling of an eye, a month passed, during which Lin Fang took care of Lady Zhao. She was feeling more and more uncomfortable. After all, which wealthy lady needs to personally take care of the elderly? Zhao Shen was very busy, becoming unavailable at home after the 3rd day of their marriage. He didn't even see her hardship. When he occasionally visited, she had to try her best to please Zhao Shen. What is this? Why was it that when Shangguan Furong was here, everyone in the Zhao family treated her like a princess, but when she arrived, she had to be the maid, serving this and that? Does she deserve to be Zhao's old maid? This cannot go on. She came to the Zhao's home to enjoy a life of leisure. Lin Fang suppressed her frustrations, and with a bowl of chicken soup, she opened the door to Lady Zhao's bedroom. Mom. Hearing Lin Fang's voice, Lady Zhao turned to look at her. Over the past few days, Lin Fang had been serving her diligently, and Lady Zhao was very satisfied with this new daughter-in-law. Mom, drink soup. Lin Fang scooped up a spoonful of chicken soup to feed Lady Zhao. It had a strong scent of Chinese medicine. Lady Zhao turned her head, not wanting to drink. Now she couldn't speak and could only express herself through actions. If it was a few days ago, Lin Fang would definitely kindly say, Mom, if you don't want to drink it, I'll get you another bowl. But Lin Fang did not have such patience today. Thinking of this, Lin Fang slammed the chicken soup on the table, expressing angrily, drink it or don't. Lady Zhao widened her eyes in disbelief, looking at Lin Fang. Was she hallucinating? Lin Fang didn't care and turned to walk out the door. Lady Zhao lay in bed, her mouth open, making sounds, her body twisting. What's wrong now? Lin Fang turned back to look at Lady Zhao. Because of a stroke, Lady Zhao was now twisted and could not even make regular expressions, only able to stare at Lin Fang. Just as Lin Fang got to the bed, she smelled a foul odor. Defecation again. Over the past few days, Lin Fang had cleaned up Lady Zhao's feces and urine countless times, and at this moment, smelling this made her feel sick enough to vomit. Lady Zhao could do nothing but watch Lin Fang shed tears. After venting her frustrations, Lin Fang headed downstairs. Zhao Ziqing and Chang Yu were just coming in. Mom, sister is taking my things. Zhao Ziqing ran over to complain. What's yours? That piano is a gift from Dad to me. Chang Yu said angrily. Becoming the Zhao family's daughter seems glamorous on the surface, but in reality, she's been taking hits from all sides. She's obviously much older than Zhao Ziqing, yet Zhao Ziqing bosses her around. Such dominance at such a young age. A child born of a mother, yet not educated by one. That's my dad. This is my house. You have no shame. Zhao Ziqing continued, Mom, you criticize big sister. She's the older one, she should give in to the younger one. Lin Fang treats her very well, almost indulging her in every way. Even if it's her fault, Lin Fang would stand by her side. Who'd you say has no shame? Lin Fang looked at Zhao Ziqing with a smile on her face. Zhao Ziqing thought Lin Fang was going to support her, pointing at Chang Yu and said, "She has no shame. Dad is my dad, that piano Dad bought is mine." Lin Fang's face stiffened. "Who has no shame? Say it again." Even Chang Yu was stunned. "Mom." Lin Fang said, "Xiao Yu, from today you do not need to give in to her." Zhao Ziqing's eyes welled up. She began to cry loudly. "Dad? Woo, shut up." Lin Fang no longer wanted to pretend. Source: web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 721. Ni Yang takes action. _4. She had had enough. Lin Fang's cheekbones were naturally higher than the average person. At this moment, with her face stern, she looked like a terrifying demon. Her fierce appearance was scary. It was a stark contrast to her usual gentle demeanor. Chang Yu moved to Lin Fang's side, watching Zhao Ziqing's retreating figure, and worriedly said, "Mom, what if she complains?" Zhao Ziqing and the old lady Zhao were different. Old lady Zhao could not speak or move, not even a hint of facial expression. But Zhao Ziqing was 8 years old this year, able to speak clearly. If she tells Zhao Shen, it would be hard to explain. Lin Fang smiled and said, "Don't worry, I have ways to keep her quiet." Seeing Lin Fang's confidence, Chang Yu breathed a sigh of relief. In the night, Zhao Ziqing curled up in the cold bed, staring at the family photo on the desk, and silently shed tears. She missed her dad, missed her brother, and a little bit she also missed her mother. Despite being a bad mother, she had never hurt her. She guessed that Zhao Shen would be returning soon. Lin Fang's attitude had improved quite a bit these few days. On the third day, Zhao Shen really did return. Lin Fang made sure Zhao Ziqing was all dressed up and ready in the living room to greet Zhao Shen. "Dad." "Ziqing." Zhao Shen picked Zhao Ziqing up. "Have you been getting along well with your mom at home these days?" Zhao Ziqing first glanced at Lin Fang, then nodded. "Very well, I really like Mom." Hearing this, a satisfied smile appeared on Lin Fang's face. Zhao Shen said, "That's good, shall we go and see how Granny is doing?" Lin Fang was fully prepared. Granny Zhao's room was spotlessly clean. The bedding had all been changed, and there was incense burning in the room. There was not any hint of an unpleasant smell. Satisfied on seeing how well Lin Fang had taken care of Granny Zhao, Zhao Shen was instantly relieved. But meanwhile, Granny Zhao was twisting her body and grunting angrily. Tears filled her eyes. "Mom, what's wrong with you?" Zhao Shen asked anxiously. Granny Zhao couldn't speak, and could only look at her son in distress. Lin Fang chimed in from one side. "Dear Shen, Mom has been like this lately. I had Dr. Xia look at her. Dr. Xia said our mom is desperately longing to hold her great-grandson, causing a bit of mental distress. It's all right, you don't need to worry." "Is it serious?" Zhao Shen continued. "I think my mom's complexion has worsened recently. She also seems to have lost a lot of weight." He remembered that when he left, Granny Zhao was in high spirits. But now, her face was dull and lifeless, like a plant losing its gloss. She seemed to have aged more than 10 years. "It's not serious." Lin Fang shook her head. Dr. Xia said that people with troubled hearts usually look this way. Moreover, Mom originally had a stroke due to distress. As long as we take care of her, it will be fine. Zhao Shen sighed in relief. That's good. He was a filial son and couldn't bear to see Granny Zhao suffer at all. The fact that he hadn't brought Zhao Zijuan back home, resulting in Granny Zhao ending up in this condition, had already made him feel very guilty. That's not the case. Lin Fang is a wicked woman. Granny Zhao gazed at Zhao Shen, her eyes wide open, making constant noises. But how could Zhao Shen understand Zhao Granny's intention? He wasn't a mind reader. Lin Fang continued, "Dear Shen, Dr. Xia said our mom needs plenty of rest for her illness. We should not disturb her rest. Look, she is even getting upset." "All right." Zhao Shen nodded. "Let's go." "Don't go." Zhao Shen, Don't go. You've been fooled by Lin Fong, the wicked woman. Granny Zhao watched Zhao Shen's retreating figure. Anxiety filled her eyes. However, Zhao Shen still followed Lin Fong and left. Seeing the now closed door, Granny Zhao felt as lifeless as ashes. Oh God. It would have been better for her to die than live through such agony. But on second thought, if she died, there would be no one to expose Lin Fang's crime. So she must live on. She must live on. There was a firm resolve in Granny Zhao's eyes. Zhao Shen stayed at home for 2 days during his return. Granny Zhao and Zhao Ziqing also had 2 peaceful days. But as soon as Zhao Shen left, Lin Fang resumed her true nature. Zhao Ziqing now really liked going to school. She was extremely afraid of spending time at home. She also missed her brother and mother more and more. She hoped that her brother and mother could come to see her again. In fact, Shangguan Ferong did came, but was stopped by Lin Fang at the door, as usual. Shangguan Ferong returned with Zhao Zijuan. Source: Web Novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 722, Ni Yang Takes Action. _5. Auntie, didn't you take Zijuan back home to see Ziqing? Ni Yang was a bit surprised to see Shangguan Ferong return so quickly. Shangguan Ferong sighed. Lin Fang didn't want to let us in. Last time she had at least seen Zhao Ziqing, but this time, Zhao Ziqing hadn't appeared at all. Lin Fang didn't want to? Ni Yang furrowed her brows slightly. Then did you see Uncle Zhao? Shangguan Ferong shook her head. No. Ni Yang continued. Auntie, I think you need to have a good talk with Uncle Zhao. There seems to be something fishy about this. Although Zhao Shen was disloyal to love, his character wasn't the worst. This could be seen from the fact he gave half of his properties to Shangguan Ferong. Shangguan Ferong hesitated for a moment, then said, Okay, I'll go find him now. Shangguan Ferong and Zhao Shen had been a couple for half a lifetime. It would be easy for her to find Zhao Shen. Zhao Shen was surprised to see Shangguan Ferong actively seeking him out. He had thought that he and Shangguan Ferong would never interact for the rest of their lives. Over the past couple of months, Shangguan Ferong seemed to have changed a lot. And yet it seemed like nothing had changed. Shedding her intimidating demeanor, she had become a lot more gentle, and there was an added softness in her eyes. Zhao Zijuan was overjoyed to see Zhao Shen, running over excitedly, Dad. My son. Zhao Shen lifted Zhao Zijuan into his arms. Zhao Zijuan wrapped his arms around Zhao Shen's neck. Dad, this is the best. You haven't abandoned me. I thought you didn't want me anymore. Nonsense. How could Dad ever abandon you? Shangguan Ferong spoke at the right moment. Zijuan and I have returned twice but were turned away both times. That's why Zijuan thought you didn't want him anymore. Returned? Zhao Shen frowned slightly. When did you return? Nobody told me. Shangguan Ferong replied. On the 3rd day after you and Lin Fang received your marriage certificate, Zijuan said he missed you guys, so I took him back once. We also returned today, but Lin Fang wouldn't let us in. She said you didn't want to see us. Zhao Shen didn't say anything. He seemed to remember, that day he asked who was at the door, but Lin Fang said it was someone asking for directions. What's going on? Lin Fang was never a petty person. Why would she hide this? Zhao Shen continued. There must have been some misunderstanding. I've just finished my work for today, so I'll take you 2 back. Mom will be thrilled to see Zijuan. Okay, Shangguan Ferong nodded. Zhao Shen drove with the mother and son away. Zhao Zijuan sat in the passenger seat while Lin Fang sat in the rear. Zhao Zijuan hadn't seen Zhao Shen for a long time. Now father and son had a belly full of words to share. The car was getting closer and closer to the villa. A servant rushed back into the villa. Ma'am, the master has returned. At this time, Lin Fang was venting her anger by beating Zhao Ziqing. At the news, she was startled. What? A glimmer of hope flashed in Zhao Ziqing's eyes. Great. Dad's back. Dad's back. She wouldn't have to be beaten. The master returned with, the servant repeated. Lin Fang swiftly hid the needle. You beast, go back to your room and read. If you dare to say anything out of line, I'll kill you. Then she ordered, have someone tidy up Madam's room. All right, the servant nodded, quickly finding another servant to go upstairs. Lin Fong adjusted her hair and clothes and went towards the door. Just as she was out the door, she saw Zhao Shen step out of the car. Before she could react, the car door in the rear opened and Shangguan Furong came out. Shangguan Furong? How did she get here? What a shameless hussy. Lin Fong was fuming, but had to maintain a pleasant smile on her face, stepping forward courteously. Brother Shen, welcome back. Sister Furong is also here, come inside. Shangguan Furong looked at Lin Fong and said, you really are quick at changing faces. Lin Fong stepped back as forward, her eyes watering up. Sister Furong, I know I wronged you, it's only right for you to dislike me. Shangguan Furong impatiently brushed her off. I don't have time to watch your theatrics. Zijuan, let's go inside to see Grandma and your sister. Okay. Zhao Zijuan cheered and ran into the house. This was once Zhao Zijian's home, and he was familiar with every corner of the villa. Seeing the place he had once lived in, Zhao Zijuan almost started to cry. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co if you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 723, Ni Yang Takes Action. _6. This place isn't his home anymore. Zhao Zijuan rushed all the way to Zhao Ziking's bedroom. Little sister. Little sister. Was this his brother's voice? Zhao Ziqing thought she was hearing things. After all, she would often hear her mother and brother's voices in her dreams recently. Only when she opened the door did she realize she wasn't hallucinating. Zhao Ziqing embraced Zhao Zijuan tightly and began to cry. Brother. Ooh, I'm sorry, brother. I missed you so much. Lin Fong stood behind, a displeased expression in her eyes. Little beast. Just wait till everyone leaves, shall see how I'll deal with her. It's okay, little sister. Confucius once said, which person without faults isn't a sage? So, brother forgives you. Thank you, brother. Zhao Ziqing wanted to hug Shangguan Furong again, but she dared not. She was afraid Lin Fong would stab her with a needle again. Zhao Zijuan then asked, where's Grandma? Should we visit her? Zhao Shen stepped forward. Grandma is upstairs, I'll take you up. At this point, Lin Fong stepped in. Mom just went to sleep. Why don't we go downstairs for some tea first, then visit her after a while? It hasn't been long. What if things upstairs aren't cleaned up yet? Zhao Shen, being an obedient son, turned to Shangguan Furong. Should we wait a while before going to see Mom? Shangguan Furong glanced at her wristwatch. All right. They waited downstairs for over half an hour before Zhao Shen took them upstairs. Upstairs was already tidied up. Old Lady Zhao was lying in bed, tears of excitement filling her eyes when she saw Shangguan Furong and Zhao Zijuan approach. This isn't a dream, is it? Grandma! Zhao Zijuan sprinted over. Seeing Zhao Zijuan, whom she had been missing terribly, Old Lady Zhao momentarily forgot about her anger. Seeing Old Lady Zhao on the bed, Shangguan Furong asked in surprise, what happened to her? Having been mother and daughter-in-law with Old Lady Zhao for over a decade and calling Mrs. Shangguan Mom for so many years, some habits can't be changed overnight. Moreover, Old Lady Zhao had been truly kind to her in the past. She didn't realize this until now. Old Lady Zhao was fed up with her, which led to her subsequent actions, so now, Shangguan Furong didn't blame her. She didn't blame anyone. Zhao Shen sighed. A while ago, she was shocked and suffered a stroke. She's been like this ever since. Did you get a doctor to look at her? Shangguan Furong asked. Yes. Zhao Shen nodded. Shangguan Furong pressed on. What did the doctor say? Zhao Shen sighed again, remaining silent for fear that Old Lady Zhao would be heartbroken if she heard. Shangguan Furong slightly frowned, walked over to Old Lady Zhao. Mom, how are you feeling now? Old Lady Zhao could not say anything, only making whimpering noises. Mom, do you have something to tell me? As people who had spent over a decade together, Shangguan Furong immediately understood Old Lady Zhao's intentions. The whimpering got louder. Shangguan Furong continued. If you have something to say to me, please blink your eyes. Old Lady Zhao blinked. Lin Fang knew something was amiss, fearing Shangguan Furong would find out something. She immediately walked over and said, Sister Furong, Mom hasn't seen Zijuan in such a long time. She's probably thankful that you brought him over today. While saying this, she gave Old Lady Zhao a warning look. Shangguan Furong continued, Zhao Xin, I know a doctor who might be able to help Mom. Who? Zhao Xin asked eagerly. Hope appeared in Old Lady Zhao's eyes. Yang. Shangguan Furong replied. These days, she had seen what Yang could do and believed that Yang could cure Old Lady Zhao. Yang. Zhao Xin furrowed his brows, but isn't Yang only 19? Upon hearing this, Lin Fang felt relieved. 19? What could a little girl of 19 know about medicine? Shangguan Furong continued, Yang is really incredible. Do you remember that kid Guobao from the Yang family? I do. Zhao Xin nodded. Shangguan Furong said, Guobao was cured by Yang. Now everyone calls Yang the little divine doctor. Hearing this, Zhao Xin had some expectations. Then let's invite Yang over now. I'll go. Shangguan Furong said, Zijuan, stay here with Dad. Luckily today was a weekend. Both Yang and Zihua were at the Shangguans. Soon, Shangguan Furong had brought Yang over. Seeing Yang, Lin Fang was astonished. Wasn't this girl the one who was with Mrs. Shangguan at the clothing store last time? She called Shangguan Furong Auntie. Could it be that her mother married Shangguan Dehui? My God! Could the incident at the clothing store have been orchestrated by Yang? A fury rose in Lin Fang's heart. Zhao Xin said, Yang, we're counting on you to help Mom. I'll do my best. After saying this, Yang went over to Old Lady Zhao's side to check her pulse. Old Lady Zhao's condition was very serious, far worse than Yang had imagined. Yang slightly furrowed her brows, the long lashes casting a faint shadow on her eyelids. Lin Fang smirked mockingly. I heard from Sister Furong that little divine doctor is very proficient. I'm sure the little divine doctor can cure Mom's illness, right? Divine doctor? She looked more like a quack to her. A youngster coming out to swindle others. Yang looked back at Lin Fang with a smile, the corners of her mouth revealing a light dimple. I may not have other talents, but I do have ways to make Old Lady Zhao speak. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 724, Revealing the Truth. _1 Could Yang really get Madame Zhao to speak? How could that be possible? Does she think she's an immortal fairy? Upon hearing this, Lin Fang was neither flustered nor surprised. She almost wanted to laugh. The little divine doctor must be a very competent person then. Yang smiled faintly, did not respond, just pulled out a gold needle from her bag, and unblocked the acupoints of Madame Zhao. A gentle breeze lifted the curtain. Despite the winter weather, Yang, dressed in a plain white cheongsam with a light purple coat over it, did not seem to feel the cold at all. Her fair fingers skillfully handled the gold needle, puncturing accurately into the acupoints. Everything looked as serene as a painting. During the acupuncture, Madame Zhao slowly closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. Zhao Xin anxiously asked, Yang, what's wrong with my mom? Lin Fang was shocked. Mom, she isn't? Is she dead? It would be great if the old lady was dead. If she was dead, Lin Fang wouldn't have any concerns. Lin Fang was exhilarated. This could give her the perfect opportunity to put Yang and Shangguan Furong behind bars. For causing harm to others. This was no minor crime. If the old lady died and, incidentally, she got rid of Shangguan Furong and Yang, it would be killing two birds with one stone. It's fine, said Yang while maintaining her composure. She just fell asleep because I hit the Onmian acupoint. Oh. Zhao Xin nodded in relief. After hearing this, Lin Fang was utterly disappointed. Not dead? But even if she didn't die, she probably wouldn't live much longer anyway. Ni Yang could at best be said to be attractive. How could she possibly know genuine medical skills? Just then, footstep sounds could be heard from outside the door. Chang Yu walked in from outside. Mom, Dad, I heard a miracle doctor is treating Grandma. I came especially to take a look. Xiaoya, come over here. Let me introduce you. This is your Aunt Furong. And this miracle doctor is your Aunt Furong's niece. Lin Fong deliberately put emphasis on the term miracle doctor, somewhat mocking. Upon seeing Ni Yang, Chang Yu was completely taken aback. Ni Yang? A business owner appearing at the Zhao family home? Was the Zhao family a place she could enter? What miracle doctor? Isn't she just a noodle shop owner? Chang Yu said dismissively. A noodle shop owner. Upon hearing this, Lin Fang's smirk became more pronounced. She laughed and said, "This is the first time I've heard that a noodle seller could become a miracle doctor." Chang Yu continued, "Dad, don't be fooled by her. This Ni Yang was my classmate. She was just a noodle seller and wouldn't know anything about medicine. What if something happens to Grandma during her treatment? Who will be responsible then? Could such a small business owner be trusted?" Lin Fong was displeased. "Xiaoya, what are you talking about? This little miracle doctor here is your Aunt Furong's niece. After all, your Aunt Furong and your grandmother have the in-law relationship. How could she possibly harm your grandmother?" Although these words seemed to be defending Shangguan Furong, on the contrary they covertly hinted that Shangguan Furong wanted to harm Madame Zhao. Only then did Chang Yu understand what Lin Fong meant. Ni Yang was now Shangguan Furong's niece? What happened? Could it be that Ni Yang's mother had married into the Shangguan family? If that was the case, then the incident in the clothing store the other time was definitely planned out by Ni Yang. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence? Almost instantaneously, Chang Yu and Lin Fong were on the same page. Ni Yang, this scumbag. She was really shameless. Chang Yu narrowed her eyes. "I am not talking nonsense. Mom, you go and ask around on the streets, how many noodle vendors can practice medicine? This person was brought here by Aunt Furong, right? Aunt Furong should take full responsibility if anything happens to Grandma, right?" Shangguan Furong stood up from her chair. "You mother and daughter should stop your duo. If something does happen to Mother today, I, Shangguan Furong, will take full responsibility. I won't let anyone else get implicated." "Furong, don't get angry, I trust you," said Zhao Xin, and then turned to Lin Fong and Xiaoya. "You two have no manners." Lin Fong was normally a person who was good at accommodating people's moods, but today, she didn't know what happened. She kept provoking Shangguan Furong and Ni Yang. Lin Fong played the victim. "Xiaoya and I are also considering for Mom's sake. Mom is already so seriously ill. If she, towards the end, she was crying so hard she couldn't speak. If an outsider saw this, they would really think Lin Fong was a filial and good daughter-in-law." Zhao Shen sighed. "All right, I got it." Source: Web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 725. Revealing the Truth. _2. While the group was arguing, Ni Yang remained calm, appearing to be indifferent to the situation. When Zhao Shen walked back to the bedside, he was astonished to find that Mrs. Zhao's facial features had returned to their original positions. She had been disfigured due to the stroke, but now, she had miraculously recovered. This was truly extraordinary. At the same time, Mrs. Zhao slowly opened her eyes, and the murkiness at the bottom of her eyes gradually cleared. "Mom," Zhao Shen joyfully said, "Mom, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling better?" Looking at Zhao Shen, Mrs. Zhao's eyes suddenly reddened. "Awake?" Lin Fong gasped in surprise, rushed to the bedside, and forced out a couple of crocodile tears. "Mom, you're awake. You finally woke up. You scared me to death just now." Mrs. Zhao stared at Lin Fong, making whimpering sounds from her throat, as if she was accusing Lin Fong of her wrongdoings. Seeing that Mrs. Zhao still couldn't speak, Lin Fong breathed a sigh of relief. "Divine Doctor, didn't you say you could get my mother to speak?" Lin Fong looked at Ni Yang. Ni Yang opened her medicine box, took out a syringe and various Western medications. It just needs one last injection, don't rush. Although she practiced traditional Chinese medicine, she didn't belittle Western medicine. Sometimes, the combination of both can produce better therapeutic effects. Mrs. Zhao glared fiercely at Lin Fang. If stares could kill, Lin Fang would already have been dead hundreds of times over. Lin Fang asked, "Mom, do you want to say something?" The whimpering sound grew louder, and Mrs. Zhao's eyes got bigger and bigger. Lin Fang continued, "Mom, I understand what you mean. Do you want to stop the divine doctor from treating you? Did she hurt you? I get it, don't worry. I am here today. I will protect you and not let anybody touch you." In reality, at this moment, Lin Fang was feeling somewhat anxious. Because Ni Yang did indeed restore Mrs. Zhao's facial features to their original position. What if she accidentally enables Mrs. Zhao to speak? Then what? No way. She can't afford to take that risk. Chang Yu immediately detected Lin Fang's intentions and quickly stood beside Lin Fang. "Right, Grandma? My mom and I will protect you and won't let anyone hurt you." Ni Yang just watched the mother-daughter duo, a faint smile playing at the corner of her mouth, but her eyes were icy. "What are you panicking for? Are you that afraid it'll cure Mrs. Zhao?" Turning to them, Ni Yang continued, "Or did you do something shameful and want to cover it up?" Lin Fang was already feeling guilty at this moment, and these words hit a nerve. "What nonsense are you spewing? What shameful thing have I done?" Ni Yang maintained her composure. "Are you angry out of shame?" "What do you mean I'm angry out of shame? I think you're just talking rubbish." Lin Fang grabbed Ni Yang's hand and started to cause trouble. "Come on. You must clarify what you meant today. If not, I won't let this go." "Let go." Ni Yang slightly frowned. Lin Fang continued, "If you don't clarify your comments today, I won't let go. Although I, Lin Fang, am just a woman, I can't let others falsely accuse me." How could she let go at this moment? If she let go, wouldn't it mean she was admitting her wrongdoings? "Lin Fang, don't disturb Yang Yang's treatment of Mom." Zhao Shen pulled Lin Fang away. Lin Fang quickly replied, "Brother Shen, this Ni Yang harbors ill intentions. She even falsely accused me of doing something shameful. She frankly has no medical skills. Don't be fooled by her. And also, Mom said she's unwilling to let her treat her." "Mom's right, Dad, don't be fooled by her. I was Ni Yang's classmate. No one knows her better than I do." Chang Yu said. Mrs. Zhao anxiously whimpered. Lin Fang seized the opportunity and said, "Brother Shen, look at Mom's current state. It's quite clear she doesn't want Ni Yang to continue treating her." The whimpering became louder, as Mrs. Zhao was afraid Zhao Shen would believe Lin Fang's lies. Lin Fang continued, "Brother Shen, hurry up and ask them to leave." Zhao Shen's face darkened, and he said to Lin Fang, "Shut up." This was the first time Zhao Shen lost his temper since they got married. Both Lin Fang and Chang Yu were scared. They'd assumed Zhao Shen was spineless after seeing how he was completely enthralled by Shangguan Feng. Who would have thought Zhao Shen did indeed have a temper? "I'm sorry, Yang Yang, that you had to witness this farce." Zhao Shen turned to look at Ni Yang. "Yang Yang, please continue. Don't worry, I believe in you." Source: Web Novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 726, Revealing the Truth. _3. Ni Yang nodded, squeezed out the air in the syringe, and aimed it at the vein on Granny Zhao's arm. The room fell quiet. Everyone's gaze was focused on Ni Yang and Granny Zhao. According to Ni Yang, after this injection, Granny Zhao should be able to speak. Could it be true? Especially Lin Fang and Chang Yu, their hearts were beating anxiously. What if Granny Zhao really could talk? What would they do then? Would Zhao Shen kick them out of the Zhao family? Zhao Shen walked over, nervously asking, "Mom, how are you feeling now?" The only response to Zhao Shen was a hum. Lin Fang's tense heart finally relaxed. She knew this Ni Yang was not capable. Chang Yu snorted. Didn't someone just swear that my grandmother could speak after the injection? And Yang didn't get angry. His handsome face remained calm as he walked over to Granny Zhao and removed the golden needle from the Suliu acupoint. Granny, how do you feel now? Granny Zhao looked at Yang. Her stiff throat seemed to ease up, and she tried to say something. Smoke. She could speak. She finally could speak. Yang. Mom, you can speak. Zhao Shen rushed over. Shen Bao. Granny. Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing also came over. Zijuan, Ziqing. Granny Zhao's eyes turned red. Lin Fang stared at this scene, almost dumbfounded, a chill rising from the bottom of her heart. How is this possible? What should she do? What should she do now? Chang Yu was even more panic-stricken. She was not unaware of what her mother had done. This old lady would surely tattle now. Was she, a spoiled princess, about to be kicked out of her home after only a month? As expected, Granny Zhao's next words were, Shen Bao, call the police immediately and arrest these venomous mother-daughter duo. What? Zhao Shen was stunned for a moment. Granny Zhao tearfully accused Lin Fang of her crimes. Zhao Shen's face gradually turned cold. He never thought that the kind-hearted Lin Fang could be so malicious. Upon hearing that his granny had suffered so much recently, Zhao Zijuan rushed over to hit Lin Fang. Evil woman! You evil woman! How could you bully my granny? Lin Fang also panicked, falling to her knees with a thud, her face pale as a sheet. I really didn't, Brother Shin. Granny has falsely accused me. If you didn't, then where did these wounds come from? Yang lifted Granny Zhao's quilt and rolled up her clothes. Granny Zhao's arms and back were covered in bruises. I didn't do it. I didn't. Lin Fang vehemently denied. If not you, then who? Yang's tone was mild, but it carried an intimidating force. Speaking of these wounds, Granny Zhao burst into tears. She hit me. Not only did she hit me, she also starved me. I, Wang Yuehua, have lived a life of wealth and worry-free. Little did I know that in my old age, I would have to endure such torment. Shen Bao, you must seek justice for me. Lin Fang stared at Yang, her eyes wide with disbelief. It's you. You vile creature, trying to ruin me. You were the one who stopped me from marrying into the Shangguan family, and now you're stirring up trouble. Shut up, you wretch. Losing patience, Zhao Shen gave Lin Fang a fierce slap in the face. The slap was so hard that Lin Fang's left cheek swelled immediately. I really didn't. Brother Shen, please believe me. Lin Fang clutched at Zhao Shen's trouser leg in a pathetic manner. Dad, believe Mom. Mom is not that kind of person. Chang Yu also knelt beside Zhao Shen. The mother and daughter pleaded with Zhao Shen. It was then that Granny Zhao seemed to remember something. Not only did they abuse me, they also abused Ziqing. These days, I could always hear Ziqing crying from upstairs. It's my fault, I'm an incompetent grandmother and I couldn't protect my own granddaughter. Ziqing, my poor granddaughter. Upon hearing this, Zhao Shen was stunned. Lin Fang even hit children. Shangguan Furong walked over to Zhao Ziqing, squatting down to look her in the eye. Ziqing, did she hit you? No. I didn't hit her. Lin Fang denied with all her might, threatening Zhao Ziqing with her eyes. Little beast, if she dared to talk nonsense today, Lin Fang would kill her. Zhao Ziqing took a step back. She wanted to nod, but she was afraid. What if everyone left and Lin Fang beat her again? Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 727, Revealing the Truth. _4. She was terrified. Suppressing her inner rage, Shangguan Furong spoke in as gentle a voice as possible. Ziqing, please speak up. Did she beat you? You don't have to be scared. Mom is here and I will protect you. Please be honest with me. No, I didn't. Zhao Ziqing carefully glanced at Lin Fang with utmost fear in her eyes. Eventually, she burst into tears, clinging tightly to Shangguan Furong's neck. I am scared. Ziking's terrified confession broke Shangguan Furong's heart. It was her fault. She was the one who allowed her 2 children to suffer. I want to stay with Mum. I don't want to be with Dad anymore. Auntie Lin Fong is a bad lady. She pinched me and pricked me with this injection. My elder sister is also bad. She snatches my things and calls me a beast. As Zhao Ziqing spoke, she loosened her clothes to reveal the bruising on her body and countless needle holes on her arms and back. The sight was horrifying. Ziqing, my poor child. It's all my fault I let you suffer. Shangguan Furong held Zhao Ziqing in a tight embrace. No wonder Lin Fong prevented her from seeing the kids before. If only she had located Zhao Shen sooner, things wouldn't have turned out this way. Shangguan Furong was consumed by regret and heartache. From the day her daughter was born, she never even had the heart to smack her once, let alone allowed her to be beaten to a pulp by Lin Fong. "Mom!" cried Zhao Ziqing. As a father, Zhao Shen could no longer bear it, and he grabbed Lin Fang's hair in anger. "Lin Fong, what have you done? Ziqing is only 8 years old. She's still a child. How could you do this to her?" "No. She's lying about me. They're framing me together. They want to kick me out. Brother Shen, don't be fooled, don't." Lin Fong implored painfully as she clung onto Zhao Shen's trousers despite the pain in her scalp. Shangguan Furong charged forward to grab Lin Fang's sleeve, pushed her to the ground, and then grabbed her by the throat. "Lin Fong, you inhuman beast. I will kill you. One life for another. Miss, please calm down." An Yang came over and held Shangguan Furong's hand. "It's not worth risking your freedom for her. You still have Zijuan and Ziqing to take care of." His words immediately sobered her up and she released Lin Fong. And Yang was right. She was not worth it. Once Lin Fong was released, she began coughing violently. Shangguan Furong had certainly shown no mercy. Zhao Shen asked the servants to call the police. "Brother Shen, forgive me this time. I won't dare to do it again. I'll take good care of our mother. Please pardon me." Lin Fong kneeled on the ground and bowed down in remorse. If she had known this day would come, she wouldn't have treated old Madame Zhao and Zhao Ziqing the way she did. Lin Fong felt regret. She was genuinely regretful. It took her a great struggle to marry into a wealthy family. She didn't want to go to jail or lose everything. "Get out!" Zhao Shen kicked Lin Fong away angrily. Lin Fong crawled over once again. Brother Shen, give me one more chance. I know I was wrong. I really recognize my mistake. Dad, please forgive Mum this time." Chang Yu also kneeled beside Lin Fong. "I'm not your father." The police arrived shortly. Lin Fong and Chang Yu were arrested for abusing the elderly and a child. With guilt written all over his face, Zhao Shen looked at old Madame Zhao. I'm sorry, I let you and Ziqing suffer. I'm the one to blame. I brought the wolf into our house. It's my fault." Zhao Shen started slapping himself as he confessed his guilt. He felt regretful. He should not have betrayed Shangguan Furong in the first place. Although Shangguan Furong was a bit domineering, she was never oppressive towards the elderly or children. She had taken very good care of old Madame Zhao when she was bedridden. Who would have thought that Lin Fong would treat the elderly this way when she took over? Every time he thought of the torment that old Madame Zhao and Zhao Ziqing went through, Zhao Shen could not forgive himself. Old Madame Zhao tearfully looked at Zhao Shen. "Shen Bao, it's not entirely your fault. I am also to blame. I am suffering the consequences of my own actions. But I'm sorry for what has happened to Ziqing. The fact that Lin Fong was able to marry into the Zhao family so smoothly was also because of her." She was full of regret. During the period of being abused by Lin Fong, her thoughts often returned to Shangguan Furong. Shangguan Furong had been married into the Zhao family for 19 years. Although she was somewhat dominant, she never mistreated her. She even took care of her day and night whenever she fell ill. Source: Web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 728, Revealing the Truth. _5. People only learn to cherish what they have once they lose it. Old Mrs. Zhao shed tears of regret. Feng, can you forgive your mother? Mrs. Zhao looked at Shangguan Feng. Shangguan Feng replied, Mom, what's done is done. There's no point dwelling on it. But I can't let Zhaoshen take care of Ziqing anymore. If there was one Lin Feng, there could be a second Lin Feng. It's safer to raise her child herself. I want to go with Mom. Zhao Ziqing tightly held Shangguan Furong's hand. Old Mrs. Zhao sighed. At this point, she had no reason to try to keep Ziqing. She had brought this upon herself. Zhaoshen then said, I admit that I was wrong. Since Ziqing wants to go with you, just take her. He could understand Shangguan Furong's feelings. Zhaoshen then added, Can you bring the children back to visit their grandmother from time to time? Of course. Shangguan Furong nodded. When leaving, Ni Yang gave Zhaoshen a prescription. Take this for a month, and old Mrs. Zhao will recover. Really? Zhaoshen asked in surprise. Yes. Ni Yang nodded. Yang, I can't thank you enough. Zhaoshen bowed deeply to Ni Yang. When Shangguan Furong and the children returned to the Shangguan residence, Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing had already fallen asleep after crying their hearts out. Even in sleep, Zhao Ziqing's brows were still tightly knitted. Downstairs. After hearing what had happened, old Mrs. Shangguan couldn't help but shed tears of sympathy. Poor children, poor children. I knew long ago that Lin Feng was no good. But Mrs. Shangguan never imagined that Lin Feng could hurt a child. Where is Lin Feng now? What is your uncle's stance? Shangguan, she asked. Shangguan Furong said, Your uncle was kept in the dark about all of this. Not only did Lin Feng abuse Ziqing, but she also mistreated Ziqing's grandmother. The police have already taken them away. People like her. I wish we could tear her limb from limb. Shangguan, she said, filled with hatred. Ni Yang handed some potion to Shangguan Furong. Auntie, this potion has the effect of promoting blood circulation, reducing swelling, and removing scars. Add it to Ziqing's bathwater at night and let her soak for 15 minutes. Do this for a week, and you'll see results. All right. Shangguan Furong took the potion. Thank you for everything today, Yang. If it weren't for Ni Yang today, who knows how much more suffering Zhao Ziqing would have to endure. As a mother, every time she thought of this, she felt scared. We're family, no need to thank me. Ni Yang said softly. Shangguan Dehui, with a serious look on his face, stood to the side. Furong, don't take offense to what I'm about to say. This is all your own doing. If it weren't for Shangguan Furong's domineering and strong-willed nature, the children wouldn't have suffered like this. Shangguan Furong didn't respond because it was indeed her fault, so she wouldn't refute it. Shangguan Dehui continued, Now that you've brought Ziqing back, what does the Zhao family say? After all, when they divorced, Zhao Ziqing went with Zhaoshen. Shangguan Furong replied, He didn't voice any objections. He just asked me to bring Ziqing and Zijuan back to visit often. Hearing this, old Mrs. Shangguan asked, Furong, do you really see no possibility of reconciliation with Zhaoshen? Shangguan Furong shook her head. Given how things have developed, how could there be any possibilities between her and Zhaoshen? What about the children? Old Mrs. Shangguan continued, With a stepmother, there's bound to be a stepfather. And with a stepfather, there's bound to be a stepmother. Can you guarantee the children will be treated kindly in your future marriage? Shangguan Furong paused momentarily, then said, Mom, I haven't given any thought to remarrying. But you will eventually have to consider it. Old Mrs. Shangguan continued, Everyone makes mistakes. Furthermore, you both made mistakes here. Give Zhaoshen another chance, for the sake of Zijuan and Ziqing. The old lady couldn't bear to see the children suffer again. It's really hard for divorced women to find a good man. If Shangguan Furong were to meet someone unworthy, wouldn't the children have to suffer again? While Zhaoshen made mistakes, he had been good to Shangguan Furong. It was Shangguan Furong who didn't appreciate him. And, after all, Zhaoshen was their children's biological father. But I can't get over it, Shangguan Furong continued. Who says a divorced woman must remarry? I can take care of my 2 children by myself, and we can live a good life. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 729. Revealing the Truth. _6. For her children, she could choose not to marry. She was ready to make that sacrifice. Lady Xianxia sighed. You can give up on having a husband, but growing children cannot lack a father. You don't consider your own needs, but you should think for the sake of your 2 children at least. Xianxia Furong fell silent. Lady Xianxia continued, Zijuan is 10 years old, and Ziqing is only 8 this year. Feng, you ought to think, can you bear it? Xianxia Furong sighed deeply. Mother, stop it. There is no chance for Zhao Shen and me anymore. She could forgive every mistake. Except for infidelity. She knew she had been quite excessive in the past, but, no matter how bad she had been, she never cheated on Zhao Shen. She has met men better Zhao Shen before. Moreover, because of Zhao Shen's affair, Ziqing suffers so much. Noticing the increasingly tense atmosphere, Anai Hua tactfully intervened. I washed some grapes and strawberries, Mom. Feng, you both should eat more. The grave conversation was skillfully switched. 3 days later, the police reported that Lin Fang was sentenced to 3 years for abusing the elderly and a child. Chang Yu, as an accomplice, received a 1-year sentence. Upon hearing this news, Xianxia Furong sighed in relief. After a 3-year jail sentence and having a criminal record, Lin Fang would be less trouble when she gets out. The potion that Ni Yen gave worked wonders. Within 3 days, Zhao Ziqing had recovered a lot, her complexion improved, but she occasionally cried in her sleep, begging Lin Fang not to hit her. The weather was good today, as the snow under the sunshine started to slowly melt. In the air, one could smell the crisp scent of melting snow. Ni Yen went to the Zhao family to give Mrs. Zhao a checkup. Mrs. Zhao, with her upper body now capable of moving, was effusively thankful to Ni Yen. Ni Yen gave her hope. However, the person she should be thanking even more is Xianxia Furong. Without Xianxia Furong's persuasion, Zhao Shen would have not thought to seek Ni Yan's help. Yang, could I ask you for a favor? Mrs. Zhao hesitated before asking. Speak your mind. Ni Yan's radiant face remained the same, as the sunlight shone through the window, casting a soft halo onto her. Until then, Mrs. Zhao had never seen such a beautiful young girl. Mrs. Zhao went on, I know the Zhao family did many unjust things in the past. I can apologize, and I regret. Can you go back and ask Furong if she can give Zhao Shen another chance? Ni Yen, with an apologetic expression, said, I'm sorry, Mrs. Zhao, it may be inappropriate for me, as the younger generation, to intervene in elders' affairs. The right and wrong of the situation were clear, Xianxia Furong and Zhao Shen each responsible for half. But in Ni Yan's eyes, infidelity is something unforgivable. No reason could justify adultery. So she will not intervene in this matter, the decision would be up to Xianxia Furong. Hearing this, Mrs. Zhao sighed, I considered inadequately. Since Ni Yen refused to get involved, she could not force her. As Ni Yen was walking out of the Zhao family gate with her medical kit, she bumped into Xianxia Furong and the 2 children returning. Sister Ni Yen, is my grandmother getting better? Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing walked up to ask. Ni Yen smiled and replied, You too, rest assured Mrs. Zhao's recovery is going very well. Thank you, Sister Ni Yen. Ni Yen bid farewell to Xianxia Furong before leaving the Zhao family. Zhao Shen, by whatever means, managed to hire back those workers who were previously dismissed by Lin Fang, including the old butler. Upon seeing Xianxia Furong, everyone was quite excited. Ma'am, you're back. Xianxia Furong smiled and said, You all are back as well, but from now on, I will not be your mistress anymore. Upon hearing this, everyone felt somewhat sentimental. How did everything change so suddenly? In the eyes of the servants, Xianxia Furong was a very good mistress. She was generous and never intentionally made things difficult for them. Xianxia Furong didn't say much to everyone. Instead, she went upstairs with the 2 children. Seeing Xianxia Furong and the 2 children made Mrs. Zhao very happy. Furong, thank you for bringing the children back to see me. Xianxia Furong said, No matter what, You are Zijuan and Ziking's grandmother. This time Shangguan Furong didn't call her Mom anymore, and Mrs. Xiao felt somewhat disappointed. Is there really no chance for Shangguan Furong and Zhaoshen? And Ai Yen, with her medical kit on her back, walked down the street where the ice and snow were melting. The street was bustling and especially lively. From afar, she saw an old man with gray hair limping onto a step to sit down, seemingly injured. And Ai Yen quickly walked over. Sir, are you okay? Do you need my help? The old man looked up and froze. His eyes welled up with warmth. This face, it gave him an inexplicable sense of familiarity. And Ai Yen continued, Sir, did you hurt your foot? I am a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. I might be able to help you. The man looked very serious, probably in his 60s or 70s. For some reason, his gaze towards her carried an unknown sentimentality. Sir, replied an Ai Yen as the old man remained silent after some time. The old man finally reacted, Young lady, what's your name? Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co if you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 730, Godenai family _unlike. Very much alike. Even though he can't pinpoint who exactly this child resembles, the old man immediately thought of his daughter who has been missing for many years. Indeed, this old man is Zheng Jun, the patriarch of the Zheng family. Lately, the old man has been feeling his health deteriorating by the day, hence he no longer stays in his room all day as he did before. He hoped to find his only daughter, to lay eyes on her one more time before his departure. Whether she's alive or dead, he wished to receive some news. If the unfortunate really happened, he wanted to offer incense at his daughter's grave. My name is Enai Yang. Enai as in a single person, and Yang as in producing smoke from warming jade in the sun. For reasons unknown, Enai Yang felt an inexplicable closeness upon seeing Old Master Zheng. Old Master Zheng was not a man of many words and would hardly speak a word to Zheng Xianjing in half a month. However, today he couldn't help but introduce himself to Enai Yang. My surname is Zheng. I'm called Zheng Jun, Zheng as in cover the ears, Jun as in a critical moment. Grandpa Zheng, just call me Yang Yang. Enai Yang continued, By the way, did you injure your foot? Speaking of which, Old Master Zheng responded with a painful smile, I was just chasing a thief. Who knew that I wouldn't catch the thief, but instead sprain my own leg? Is it this foot? Enai Yang crouched down halfway. Old Master Zheng nodded. Let me take a look. Today, the snow had melted, leaving a lot of muddy water on Old Master Zheng's shoes, but Enai Yang didn't mind the dirt. Directly taking off his shoes, it seems slightly displaced. Let me reset it for you. It might hurt a little. Try to bear with it. Okay. Old Master Zheng nodded, thanks, Yang Yang. While talking to Old Master Zheng, Enai Yang was also diverting his attention. Crack. The intense pain makes Old Master Zheng turn pale. Enai Yang stood up from the ground. Grandpa Zheng, try standing up. Old Master Zheng got up from the steps, tried to walk a few steps, and said in surprise, It doesn't hurt anymore. Not at all. Yang Yang, you are really amazing. Unconsciously, Old Master Zheng didn't realize that he's been speaking more and his typically serious face had also broken into many smiles. Enai Yang smiled, It's just a little trick. Yang Yang, did you inherit this traditional Chinese medicine practice from your ancestors? Old Master Zheng asked. Enai Yang shook her head, I have a master. Old Master Zheng said, Then your master must be a hermit. How old are you, Yang Yang? 19. She was 17 when she first came to Beijing, and time flew by so quickly that it's already been 2 years. Old Master Zheng nodded. Yang Yang, judging from your accent, you don't seem to be from Beijing. Yes, I'm from Haicheng. I came to Beijing 2 years ago. Enai Yang said, Haicheng. Haicheng is still over 2,000 kilometers away from the place where Zheng Tingting went missing years ago. Old Master Zheng's eyes dimmed a bit. Enai Yang continued, Grandpa Zheng, I notice you have swollen eyes and faint dark circles. Are you having trouble sleeping recently? I'm old, not as good as before. Old Master Zheng sighed. And Ai Yang took out a light blue sachet from her bag. This is for you. What is this? Old Master Zheng was puzzled. And Ai Yang continued. This is a sachet made of medicinal herbs which can improve sleep. You can try using it. Old Master Zheng reached out and took it. There was indeed a faint medicinal smell lingering on the sachet. How much does it cost? Old Master Zheng continued, and also for earlier when you helped reset my bone. Money is the best way to express gratitude in this world. And other than money, Old Master Zheng couldn't find any other way. And Ai Yang smiled. Helping you with the bone reset was just a small effort, and this sachet is not worth much. You could look at as me promoting the virtues of traditional Chinese medicine. The upbringing of this child was too good. Also, the feeling she gave was not like that of a 19-year-old girl at all. There was a sense of time weathering all things about her. Old Master Zheng, who had seen numerous people in his life, this was the first time he had seen such a gifted young girl. Traditional Chinese medicine has been inherited for thousands of years. It's a pity that Western medicine has been in the limelight in the recent years and traditional Chinese medicine is gradually falling behind. Yang, you're so young yet your medical skills are so good, that's too rare. Old Master Zheng received an old-style education in his youth, so he always held traditional Chinese medicine in high regard. Unfortunately, in this rising age, people have gradually forgotten about traditional Chinese medicine. By the way, Yang, my wife has been unwell recently, suffering from a persistent cough. Would you be willing to make a house visit if I wanted to engage your services? Old Master Zheng asked. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 731, GoldenEye Family _2. And Ai Yang nodded, it's my honor. Old Master Zheng's eyes lit up, then give me an address. When I go back and tell my wife, I'll come and visit you. And Ai Yang continued, if it's from Monday to Friday, you can find me at number 56 Jinghua Village. If it's the weekend, I'm usually at Phoenix Villa number 23. Phoenix Villa is where the Shangguan family lives, and Ai Yang stays there 2 days a week. Old Master Zheng, being a scholar, had a habit of carrying paper and pen with him. He immediately jotted down the addresses. After saying goodbye to Old Master Zheng, Ai Yang visited several noodle restaurants and milk tea shops. Now there are 12 branch stores of noodle restaurants and milk tea shops in Beijing, making a total of 22 branches. And all the properties were bought outright. Now Wang Jinfang and Zhou Qingshang are the general manager and deputy general manager of the branches respectively. Their monthly salary has increased from the initial 35 yuan to 128 yuan. Each store also has its own store manager. The store managers are villagers from Jinghua Village. Regular employees are recruited from outside. The store manager's salary is 98 yuan a month. The salary for regular employees has also increased to 45 yuan per month. And Ai Yang trusts everyone. With high salaries, everyone is very dedicated to their work, never leaving any headache for Ai Yang. Despite the increase in employee wages, the prices of milk tea and noodles have not risen. So whether it's a workday or a holiday, the noodle restaurants and milk tea shops are always crowded. Seeing Ai Yang making money, others were very envious, and for a while, countless imitators sprang up. Some even opened shops right across from Ai Yang's. But Ai Yang has never been surpassed. Zheng family. As soon as Old Master Zheng returned home, he saw that there were visitors. The visitors were none other than Old Master Zheng's second and third brothers. However, Old Master Zheng walked upstairs as if he hadn't seen the two. Old Mrs. Zheng was hosting the guests in the living room. Zheng Lingling served hot tea to them. Uncle 2, Uncle 3, please have some tea. Old Master Zheng's second brother is named Zheng Xing and his third brother is named Zheng Gao. Although they all have the surname Zheng, their background is not half as good as Old Master Zheng's. The Zheng family is an esteemed, wealthy family, while Zheng Xing and Zheng Gao's families can at best be called rich. So Zheng Lingling didn't like these two old men at all. If it weren't for the sake of Old Master Zheng and Mrs. Zheng, she wouldn't even care to deal with them. Second brother and third brother, is there something you came here for today? Mrs. Zheng broke the silence. Zheng Gao did not speak. He picked up the teacup, took a sip and looked toward Jing Sheng. Zheng Xing gave a smile. Sister-in-law, how have you and my brother been lately? We are doing fine, old Mrs. Zheng replied. How about Suyu? Zheng Xing continued. Suyu is doing well too. Mrs. Zheng also took a sip of tea. If you really care about Suyu, why not take her home for a few days? She has been missing you. At these words, Zheng Xing and Zheng Gao both jumped in surprise. I think Suyu is better off staying here, sister-in-law. You are so thoughtful, you will surely take good care of her. Yes, yes, yes. Zheng Gao immediately echoed. Although Suyu is their sister, she is now a complete lunatic. Not only is she useless, she is a burden. Given their modest family conditions, they dare not take on such a burden. Old Mrs. Zheng couldn't help but see through her two brothers, she continued. If you two have something to say, just say it directly. Since sister-in-law has said so, I won't beat around the bush, Zheng Xing carried on. Sister-in-law, Minghui quit his job a few days ago and he hasn't found a suitable job till now, you see. Before Zheng Xing could finish, Zheng Gao couldn't wait to say, and our Mingming also quit his job. Sister-in-law, we are all family, you can't play favorites. Stop it! Zheng Xing shouted unhappily. Do you know there is a hierarchy among elders and youngsters? I haven't finished yet. After saying that, Zheng Xing turned to Mrs. Zheng with a smile. Sister-in-law, both of these kids are your dear nephews, you won't ignore them, right? Zheng Lingling stood on the side, almost unable to maintain the smile on her face. These two old guys are really shameless. Do they really think the Zheng family is out of members? She, the eldest daughter, is still here. They are thinking about dividing the Zheng assets. Old Mrs. Zheng maintained her smile. Since they have resigned, they should be looking for new jobs. How could telling me solve their problems? Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 732, Godenai Family _3. Solution is there. Zheng Xing said, why can't it be solved? The Zheng Corporation is such a large group, there must be so many vacant positions. Sister-in-law, you might as well give Minghui a chance to serve as general manager. Zheng Gao said, what about our Mingming? He's a 3-time graduate. If Minghui can be made general manager, our Mingming should at least be a deputy general manager, right? Upon hearing this, Zheng Lingling's face was filled with a mocking expression. General manager? Vice general manager? These two old fools really dared to speak. Zheng Minghui and Zheng Mingming are just two idlers, even more wieldless than Mo Qishan. Elderly Mrs. Zheng looked at Zheng Gao and Zheng Sheng, twisted the Buddha beads in her hands, her voice neither loud nor soft. The positions of general manager and deputy general manager are too small. Why not let them be the chairman? Hearing this, Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao were overwhelmed with disbelief. Could they have misheard? Zheng Sheng smiled and said, Sister-in-law, this is too embarrassing. If you intend to vacate the position of chairman, then we can't help but thank you. You can rest assured if you hand the Zheng Corporation over to our Minghui. As soon as these words were spoken, Zheng Gao immediately became displeased. Why should the position of chairman be Minghui's? What about our Mingming? The Zheng Corporation is not yours. I won't agree to let Minghui be the chairman. On what grounds are you refusing? Our Minghui is the eldest son and grandson of old Zheng's family. He should be the chairman without a doubt. Eldest son and grandson? You must really think we're still in a feudal society? There's no such thing as a hereditary system now. I say, the position of chairman should be our Mingming's. Can your Minghui match our Mingming? The two older brothers quarreled incessantly. Enough! Madame Zheng banged the Buddha beads on the table violently. Shut up, all of you! The air turned quiet instantly. It was as if someone had pressed pause. You're all behaving atrociously. Mrs. Zheng's face was cold. Don't you weigh your own worth, and yet you fancy the position of chairman? Hearing this, Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao's faces alternated between green and white. Zheng Sheng felt wronged and said, "Sister-in-law, you're being unfair. It was you who said you were going to vacate the position of chairman." Zheng Gao echoed on the side. "Exactly, as the saying goes, eldest brother is like a father, and his wife is like a mother." Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao were somewhat wary of their elder sister-in-law. Old Madame Zheng continued, "There are 2 team leader positions open in the security department. Let Minghui and Mingming go apply." Security team leader? It sounds like a prestigious title. "Thank you, sister-in-law." Zheng Gao thanked her with a smile. "We are all family. I knew that you would never let us down." Zheng Sheng pondered, "Security department? Isn't the security department security?" Job title, security, is a new concept at this time, and many are still uncertain about it. "It's security." Mrs. Zheng nodded. Upon hearing this, Zheng Sheng was not pleased. "Security guard? Isn't that just a gatekeeper? How can we let Minghui become a gatekeeper? Although it's a family business, sister-in-law, you should at least give Minghui a position." Zheng Gao was also unhappy. "Sister-in-law, Mingming is after all your biological nephew. How can you stand to let him guard the door? What? Do you two also look down upon the position of security team leader?" Mrs. Zheng laughed and asked. "Sister-in-law, we're all family here. There's no need for this, is there?" "Exactly. Zheng Corporation has so many cushy jobs. You'd rather give them to outsiders than keep them for your own nephews." "Sister-in-law, that's questionable." Madame Zheng picked up her teacup. "Precisely because Minghui and Mingming are my nephews, I want to give them the chance to serve as team leaders. If Mingming were an outsider, he wouldn't even qualify to step into the Zheng Corporation." The last sentence was not spoken loudly, but it turned Zheng Sheng and Zheng Jun pale. "Sister-in-law," Madame Zheng continued, "do you two have other things to say? If not, I want to rest." "Yes, we do." Zheng Gao nodded hastily. "Say it." Mrs. Zheng was succinct. Zheng Gao looked troubled as he glanced at Zheng Lingling and the other servants. Madame Zheng, a very intelligent woman, instantly understood his meaning. She looked at Zheng Lingling. "Lingling, lead them out for now." Source: Web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. Co. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 733, Godinai Family _4. "All right, Mum." Zheng Lingling nodded. In an instant, all the servants in the room had left. "Go ahead, what's on your mind?" the old lady of the Zheng family continued. Zheng Gao nudged Zheng Sheng with his elbow. Zheng Sheng hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Sis-in-law, I've heard that your and my brother's health have been poor recently." The old lady of the Zheng family spun her Buddha beads in silence. Zheng Sheng continued, "Sis-in-law, as the saying goes, we can't deny aging. As one gets older, all bodily functions begin to weaken, stop working, and none could predict which comes first, tomorrow or an accident. Therefore, it's necessary to prepare in advance." At this point, Zheng Gao immediately lowered his voice and added, "Don't blame me for being blunt as a younger brother, sis-in-law. Lingling is not your biological daughter after all. It's a common saying that one doesn't let one's riches benefit others. If there were to be any accidents, we can't simply let outsiders benefit, right? You still have Mingming and Minghui, who are capable of holding up the family. Zheng Lingling was just an outsider. She didn't have the right to inherit the property of the Zheng family. The old lady of the Zheng family's biological daughter had died long ago, so the heirs to the family property should be Zheng Mingming and Zheng Minghui. The old lady of the Zheng family sneered, "Beating around the bush, you seem to be hoping for my early death." "Not at all, sis-in-law. You misunderstood. We didn't mean that." Zheng Sheng hurriedly explained. Zheng Gao continued, "Sis-in-law, we just want to remind you, don't let outsiders benefit. Outsiders are still outsiders, and they will never fully belong." Exactly. The second brother is right. Zheng Sheng said, "Chao Lingrua's surname is Chao. Even if it's changed now, she still has Chao as her surname. She has Chao family's blood in her veins." Chao Lingrui was Zheng Lingling's former name. Rest assured, even if I really have an accident and die, the Zheng family will not be taken advantage of. The old lady of the Zheng family spoke frankly. Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao appeared uncomfortable. Who talks like that? Shed really killed the conversation. You may leave. The old lady of the Zheng family stood from the sofa. I'm tired. As she finished speaking, she left Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao behind. Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao exchanged glances, both seeing disappointment in each other's eyes. The old lady of the Zheng family went to the study room upstairs, letting out a tired sigh. Aching. The old master, carrying a watering can, walked over from the balcony. Did you go out today? The old lady of the Zheng family asked. Yes, the old master nodded. Aching, I have something to discuss with you. At that moment, Zheng Lingling knocked on the door of the study room. Mom, Auntie Jiang is here. The old master glanced at the doctor and then said, Then I'll talk to you later. As he finished speaking, he headed towards the balcony. The balcony was filled with his favorite plants. Though it's winter, the red plum blossoms were exceptionally brilliant. The old lady of the Zheng family got up to welcome Dr. Jiang. Xian is here. Aching. Dr. Jiang put down her medical case and looked down the stairs in a low voice. I just saw Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao downstairs. They seemed a bit upset. The old lady of the Zheng family casually said, Don't mind them. Dr. Jiang continued, Those two are amusing. They were eager to ask about your and Jing Jun's health conditions when they saw me coming in. When I told them you were fine, they seemed quite disappointed. Zheng Lingling seized this opportunity to sow discord. Mom, if you ask me, we shouldn't let those two men casually enter our house anymore. They are just eyeing our property. The old lady of the Zheng family looked at Zheng Lingling. You, as a junior, has no place to interrupt. Even if Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao were overstepping, they were the elders. Zheng Lingling shut her mouth abruptly. Dr. Jiang laughed and said, Don't blame Lingling for being blunt. Those two men really have gone too far. Even I, as an outsider, find it hard to watch. The old lady of the Zheng family responded, Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao are indeed a bit greedy, but it's not unforgivable. Dr. Jiang nodded and didn't continue the topic. Anyway, Aching, how have you been feeling recently? Any discomfort? Same as before, the old lady of the Zheng family replied. Oh. After the examination, Dr. Jiang repeated her usual advice. Aching, there are no major problems with your health. Just make sure to take your medication on time and take care of yourself. Okay. The old lady of the Zheng family nodded. Zheng Jun hasn't been feeling too well lately. Lingling, go get your dad and let Auntie Jiang have a look at him. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 734, Godinai Family _5. All right. Zheng Lingling walked towards the door. After a while, Zheng Lingling came back alone. Madame Zheng asked in surprise, Lingling, where's your father? Zheng Lingling said, My father said he's fine, he doesn't need to see the doctor. Madame Zheng shook her head helplessly. After all these years, he's still stubborn, like a child. How can he not see a doctor when he's not feeling well? I'll go call him myself. Madame Zheng then walked out the door. Only Dr. Jiang and Zheng Lingling were left in the study room. Dr. Jiang said, Lingling, I heard about your father being unwell before. Isn't he better now? No. Zheng Lingling shook her head. Dr. Jiang took a sip of tea. Did you give your father the medicine I gave you last time? Zheng Lingling laughed and said, My father is odd, he's reluctant to take medicine, so I put the medicine in the ginseng soup. I'm not sure if the ginseng will affect the medicine's efficacy. Over the years, the old Mr. Zheng hasn't had any serious illnesses, nor has he seen a doctor. Even when it comes to Dr. Jiang, who is good friends with Madame Zheng, he is reluctant to let her examine him. He's quite particular. Dr. Jiang laughed and said, You're such a filial child. Don't worry, ginseng is good, it won't affect the efficacy of the medicine. All right, then I'll still use ginseng in the future. Dr. Jiang nodded. Zheng Lingling glanced out the window, then continued, Last time my mother couldn't find Ting Ting. I don't know if there's any news now. It's so worrying. Speaking of this, Zheng Lingling sighed and said, I just don't know how my poor little sister Tingting is doing now. These things can't be rushed. Dr. Jiang said, what is destined to be will eventually be, and what isn't can't be forced. Your mother has waited for over 30 years. What's another day? Zheng Lingling sighed again. I'm afraid my father and mother won't be able to hold up, after all. Dr. Jiang patted Zheng Lingling's hand. Don't worry. After a while, Madame Zheng came back, somewhat helplessly said, he's as stubborn as a mule, I can't do anything about him. Dr. Jiang laughed and said, this is how Jing Jun was when he was young, I'm used to it. I just came in and saw he looked pretty well, there should be no major health problems, you don't need to worry. As a doctor, these words from Dr. Jiang reassured Madame Zheng. Taking into account that the two old sisters had a lot to talk about, Zheng Lingling tactfully left the study and closed the door. Dr. Jiang and Madame Zheng chatted a bit about irrelevant things, then Dr. Jiang asked, Qing, are you still looking for Tingting? Madame Zheng shook her head. Since Dr. Wang gave me the appraisal result last time, I've had no hope for this matter. I won't look for her anymore, never again. Although Dr. Jiang is the person Madame Zheng trusts the most, she can't tell Dr. Jiang the truth about this matter. It's a secret between her and old Mr. Zheng. Moreover, if one more person knew about this matter, the risk would increase. Tingting is your flesh and blood, how can you not look for her? Dr. Jiang said, I feel that Dr. Wang is a bit careless. Actually, Dr. Xiaoran is not bad, you can look for Dr. Xiaoran. Madame Zheng shook her head again. I think Dr. Xiaoran is young, although I have some friendship with her mother, I don't trust her. Dr. Jiang nodded. You're right. Xiaoran is indeed too young. So, you won't look for her anymore? Dr. Jiang continued. Although Lingling is more filial than a biological daughter, she is not a blood relative of the Zheng family after all. In my opinion, Zheng Sheng and Zheng Gao had a point, one cannot live forever. You can't let the vast Zheng family fortune go to outsiders after you pass away. Madame Zheng looked at Dr. Jiang. Xiaoyan, are you also taking their side now? Are you a spokesman that they've hired? Dr. Jiang laughed. Qing, how could you think that way? Madame Zheng continued. Since that's not the case, don't bring them up again. Zheng Jun and I are old now, we just want to live our last years in peace, we don't want to fuss about it anymore. Saying this, Madame Zheng continued, besides, Lingling is a good child. She's been filial to us for so many years in the Zheng family, and has also given us a smart and clever granddaughter, we're already content. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 735. Godenai Family _6. Dr. Jiang nodded. True, contentment breeds happiness. After some more chatting with old lady Zheng, Dr. Jiang left the Zheng family. Zheng Lingling saw Dr. Jiang to the door. Please watch your step. Dr. Jiang nodded. I will. Also, according to your mother, she seems to have given up finding Tingting. If you have a chance, try to persuade her. Blood is thicker than water after all, she should still try to look for her. Upon hearing this, Zheng Lingling's face was filled with disbelief. Not looking for her? That old witch really gave up? She just gave up on her own daughter? Zheng Lingling narrowed her eyes. All right, I will try to persuade my mother. Thank you for today. You're welcome. The study room upstairs in the Zheng's home. When Dr. Jiang had just left, Master Zheng came in. Qing, I met a girl today with excellent medical skills. Your health keeps deteriorating, let's have her take a look. Old lady Zheng laughed. Look who's talking. I wonder who the one refusing medical treatment is. Master Zheng had nothing to say. Old lady Zheng added, Xiaoyan says my health is fine, there's no need to call another doctor, right? I think she's a quack. She always says you're fine but your constant coughing proves otherwise. Master Zheng furrowed his brow. Old lady Zheng laughed. It's just a bit of coughing. No need to overreact. As soon as she finished, old lady Zheng started coughing violently. Are you all right? Master Zheng quickly patted old lady Zheng's back. Don't worry, it's not going to kill me, Old Lady Jing reassured, waving her hand. Master Zheng's face fell. Don't talk about dying. Old Lady looked at him in surprise. Master Zheng continued, until we find Tingting, we all have to stay well. Nobody can talk about death. He wants to meet his daughter alive. Old Lady Zheng laughed. All right, we won't talk about it. Master Zheng insisted. Ah Qing, seriously, you should let that girl examine you. Old Lady Zheng replied. Xiaoyan has been taking care of my illness all along. If suddenly another doctor comes in, how will Xiaoyan feel? Not to mention her long-standing friendship with Dr. Jiang. Master Zheng considered, then continued, how about this? Well, go to that girl's house directly, so she can check on me too. Well, keep it a secret, not telling anyone. That could work, Old Lady Zheng nodded. As long as it doesn't embarrass Dr. Jiang. Let's go tomorrow then, Master Zheng added. All right, well, go with your plan. The two old people chatted some more, and just then, there was a knock on the door. Zheng Xianjing walked in with 2 bowls of ginseng soup. Grandpa, Grandma, it's time for your soup. Okay, Old Lady Zheng nodded cheerfully. Master Zheng took a bowl, drank it all, and walked out without a word. He wasn't particularly close to Zheng Xianjing, but he wasn't indifferent to her either. He simply had nothing to say. Unlike other families, grandparents and grandchildren always have lots of things to talk about. Master Zheng could go a whole year without exchanging a word with Zheng Xianjing and Zheng Lingling. Zheng Xianjing watched Master Zheng's retreating figure with a flash of resentment in her eyes. She's always been kind to Master Zheng, but he never treated her like his own granddaughter. He only cared about his own daughter. It was surprising how dutiful and respectful Zheng Lingling was, making ginseng soup for them every day. What a waste of filial piety. Xianjing, when did you get back? Old Lady Zheng asked. School had started by now, and Zheng Xianjing was normally in the dorm. Zheng Xianjing smiled. I just got back, Grandma. The school canteen is terrible, making you lose weight. Let Chef Lu make you something delicious tonight to replenish yourself, suggested Old Lady Zheng. But Old Lady Zheng didn't truly care about her. If she really cared, she wouldn't have Chef Lu make the food. She would do it herself. As a grandmother, Old Lady Zheng never even made her a bowl of porridge, let alone anything else. Was it just because her mother wasn't her biological daughter? How ironic. Zheng Xianjing cursed Old Lady Zheng hundreds of times in her mind, but her face remained smiling. Grandma, I'm not skinny at all. Besides, these days people in Western countries don't favor being overweight. It's better to be slim. Zhao family. Old Lady Zhao chatted at length with Shangguan Feng. At that moment, a servant came to knock at the door. Old lady, the people from the nursing home are here. So soon? Old Lady Zhao was a little surprised. Then she looked at Shangguan Feng and said, Feng, the people from the nursing home are here. Can you please help me check? I've already paid them. What are the people from the nursing home here for? Shangguan Feng was curious. They're here to pick up Old Lady Chang, Old Lady Zhao replied. Hearing this, Shangguan Feng was even more puzzled. Old Lady Zhao sighed. Speaking of Old Lady Chang, she is Lin Fang's former mother-in-law, also a pitiable woman. Her only son died in a car accident, leaving her paralyzed and alone. She previously suffered a lot under Lin Fang's hands. Now that she's lost all her ability to work, I found a nursing home for her to live in. When Lin Fang married into the family, she brought Old Lady Chang with her. Old Lady Chang was now taken care of by Zhao family's servants. Now that Lin Fang was in prison and Old Lady Chang was bedridden, they couldn't just abandon her. That would be an atrocious act. Shangguan Feng remembered that indeed, Lin Fang had a bedridden mother-in-law. She nodded. Okay, I'll go check. Wait, Feng. Old Lady Zhao seemed to remember something. What's up? Shangguan Feng turned back. Old Lady Zhao continued. Can you ask the people from the nursing home to come back later? In a few days, Yang will come to follow up with my condition. We can ask her to examine Old Lady Chang as well. Now that Old Lady Chang can't talk or move, it's really pitiful. Old Lady has also experienced similar desperation. All right, Shangguan Feng nodded. The next day was Monday. At around 10 in the morning, Master Zheng and Old Lady Zheng arrived at Jinghua village by car. The cement road in Jinghua village was still under construction, so the car could only stop at the entrance of the village. As soon as they got off the car, old lady Jing exclaimed, "The air here is so fresh." Master Jing took a coat and draped it over old lady Jing's shoulders. The temperature difference between outdoors and indoors is quite large, don't catch a cold. Old lady Jing snuggled into her coat. The Ni family's small courtyard was not hard to find. It wasn't long before the two old people found the main gate. "Excuse me, is anyone home?" Chirp chirp, a myna bird flew out from the yard, circling in the air. Just then the door opened. Opening the door was Ni Yang. Seeing the visitors, she was surprised and said, "Grandma Jing? Grandpa Jing?" It turns out that these two old people are from the same family. Old lady Zheng was equally surprised. Yang. Source, web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 736, Spoiled Grandson Maniac _ one old Master Jing looked at the two of them, astonished. "Aching, so you and Yang, you know each other. Fate really is a marvelous thing." Old Madame Jing said, "Yang is the divine doctor who cured Xiaodai." "So that's how it is." Old Master Jing nodded. "Grandpa Jing, Grandma Jing, please come in." Ni Yang stepped aside to let the elderly couple in. The courtyard was beautifully designed. Even in winter, it remained vibrant and full of life. Old Master Zheng and Old Madame Zheng looked around with surprise. A little chubby child ran towards them, shouting, "Sister! Sister!" Ni Yang stretched out her hand and picked up the chubby child. "Yun, say hello to Grandpa and Grandma." Little Ni Yun obediently greeted, "Grandpa, Grandma." Old Madame Zheng laughed and said, "Little Yun has grown so much. The last time I saw her, she was not even able to speak. Before you know it, she is already running around." Old Master Zheng looked at little Ni Yun, somewhat dazed. His eyes were suddenly filled with a tinge of red. He didn't know if it was because he was missing his granddaughter, but he felt that little Ni Yun and Zheng Tingting looked identical when they were young. "Can I hold her?" Old Master Zheng asked Ni Yang. "Sure." Ni Yang nodded. Little Ni Yun was always cautious and usually didn't let strangers hold her. However, today, she was exceptionally happy when Old Master Zheng picked her up. Old Madame Zheng looked at Old Master Zheng with surprise. She knew that Old Master Zheng didn't usually like children. When Jing Xianjing was little, he never once held her in his arms. "Grandpa." Little Ni Yun reached out to tug at Old Master Zheng's beard. "Grandpa, what is this?" "This is a beard." "Grandpa, what is that?" "That is a flower." "Grandpa is silly, that is a fafa." Old Madame Zheng almost thought she was hallucinating. Old Master Zheng was too out of character today, as if he was a completely different person. Yang, who is here?" Ni Zihua and Shengguan Dehui came out of the house. "Grandpa Zheng, Grandma Zheng, these are my parents." Ni Yang introduced them. Shengguan Dehui recognized Old Master and Old Madame Zheng, Uncle Zheng, Auntie Zheng. "Dehui." The old couple looked at Shengguan Dehui in surprise. They had heard that Shengguan Dehui remarried, but they didn't expect him to have married Ni Yang's mother. "You two, please come in and have a seat," Ni Zihua said. All right, Old Master Zheng and Old Madame Zheng nodded. After entering the house, Ni Zihua and Shengguan Dehui busied themselves with serving tea and refreshments to the elderly couple. Ni Zihua said, "It's getting late, Dehui, you should go to work now. I can handle things here at home." It was Monday, and Shengguan Dehui had classes in the morning. "All right," Shengguan Dehui nodded. "I'll say hello to Uncle Zheng and Auntie Zheng before I leave." After greeting Old Master and Old Madame Zheng, Shengguan Dehui left. Old Master Zheng held little Ni Yun the entire time. Yang, your Grandma Zheng and I have been feeling unwell lately. Especially your Grandma Zheng, she's had a cough for many years and it hasn't gotten any better. Can you examine her first?" Ni Yang gave a slight nod and proceeded to feel Old Madame Zheng's pulse. She knitted her eyebrows, her eyes focused, and the crystal lamp reflected a cool light in her eyes. making her look quite striking. After a while, she released old Madame Zheng's hand and asked, "Could I ask what medicine you've been taking lately?" Old Madame Zheng thought for a moment, then answered, "I can't remember the exact names, but generally, they are cough suppressants." "It's coddling and amoxicillin," Old Master Zheng answered. Old Madame Zheng looked at Old Master Zheng in surprise. She didn't expect him, who always seemed quietly withdrawn, to remember what medicine she was taking. Yang frowned slightly. "Is it just coddling and amoxicillin? Does a tonic count as a medicine?" Old Master Zheng asked again. Yang nodded. "It does." She also drinks ginseng chicken soup and takes some tonics like cordyceps and deer antler, Old Master Zheng said. Yang continued, "Actually, the cough problem of Grandma Zheng isn't serious, but strangely, the medicine she has been taking over the years seems to have no effect on her. I suspect it has something to do with her usual diet. Some foods can counteract each other, not only eliminating the efficacy of the medicine but producing the opposite effect. Over time, a layer of slow-acting toxins harmful to health can accumulate in the body." Source: Web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 737. Crazy Grandson Pamper _2. Yang, are you suggesting that your Granny Zheng has been poisoned? Old Master Zheng asked. Yes. Yang nodded slightly. That's one interpretation. Granny Zheng's cough has been going on for 10 years, though there were times when she got better. It worsened suddenly starting from last year, didn't it? Correct. Granny Zheng nodded. It started from last year. Yang continued, has there been any change in your diet since last year? Granny Zheng said, other than 3 meals a day, I drink tonic medicines, the ones your grandfather Zheng just mentioned. Old Master Zhao hurriedly asked, how severe is Granny Zheng's condition now? Yang's expression was somewhat solemn. It's serious but not too severe. However, if the toxins in Granny Zheng's body are not removed in time, there's always the risk it will deteriorate, putting her life at risk. Old Master Zheng turned pale. Yang, do you have a way to detoxify her? Granny Zheng, rest assured, there's always an antidote wherever there is poison. Lucky for us, Granny Zheng came in time. If it were any later, it would have been a tough situation. As she finished her sentence, Yang added, every medicine has its toxicity, so during this period, do not consume those tonic medicines anymore. Very well, we appreciate your help, Yang. Old Master Zheng nodded and sighed in relief. Yang took out a small porcelain bottle and handed it to Granny Zheng. Granny Zheng, first take this detoxification pill. During this time, avoid alcohol, spicy food, raw or cold food. Also, don't continue taking ceftazole and amoxicillin. Okay. Granny Zheng solemnly accepted and memorized Yang's words. After examining Granny Zheng, Yang took Old Master Zheng's pulse. Old Master Zheng's pulse was very steady, but beneath the calmness lay subtle signs of trouble. Damage had been subtly inflicted on all his internal organs. Upon closer examination, one would find that his symptoms were surprisingly similar to Granny Zheng's. If the toxins in Granny Zheng's body resulted from food incompatibility, then what about Old Master Zheng's? How is it that both of them would be poisoned at the same time? Something did not seem quite right here. After a moment, Yang let go of Old Master Zheng's wrist. Grandfather Zheng, have you also been drinking tonic medicines recently? Yes. Old Master Zheng nodded. Recently, Zheng Lingling had been making all sorts of tonic soups for him and Granny Zheng every day. Then who's been making this tonic? My daughter. Old Master Zheng answered. Yang continued, Grandfather Zheng, lately you're having trouble sleeping and experiencing tinnitus and dizziness, right? Yes. Old Master Zheng nodded. You also have a layer of toxin in your body, similar to Granny Zheng's condition. Yang revealed truthfully. Old Master Zheng frowned in realization. Is it because both Granny Zheng and I consumed incompatible foods? After all, they usually had the same meals. That's indeed possible, Yang added, but we can't rule out the possibility of intentional poisoning. Intentional poisoning. Upon hearing these words, both Old Master Zheng and Granny Zheng turned pale. It couldn't possibly be intentional, could it? Granny Zheng said. Who would poison them in the Zheng family? The servants had no grudges against them, they would certainly not poison them. Then there was Lingling. But Lingling was their daughter, raised by them for over 30 years. Despite not being biologically related, they were as close as if they were. Lingling certainly wouldn't poison them. Enai Yang's tone was casual. Human intentions can be hard to discern, sometimes prevention is necessary. The toxins in both of you seeped into your bodies without your knowledge. Modestly speaking, a less experienced traditional Chinese medicine practitioner or hospital checkup wouldn't detect it. Enai Yang had lived 2 lifetimes, she had seen all sorts of incidents. Especially the conspiracies within wealthy families, which were even more exaggerated than the palace dramas in the future. Sometimes, human intentions couldn't stand close scrutiny. Continuing, Enai Yang said, however, I'm just raising a warning. Perhaps the toxins in both of you are caused by incompatible foods and are unrelated to intentional actions. After all, she didn't have any evidence yet and couldn't make unfounded accusations. Moreover, she didn't know much about Old Master Zheng and Granny Zheng's family situation. If it turns out to be a misunderstanding, that wouldn't be ideal. Source: web novel. Com, updated on Envgo. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 738, Spoiled Grandson Maniac _3. Some things only need to be clear between 2 old people. Grandpa Mo and Grandma Mo didn't say a word. Enai Yang handed the completed prescription to Grandpa Mo. Grandpa Zheng erased the prescription. Alright, thank you. Grandpa Zheng took the prescription with both hands and glanced at it, surprise flashing in his eyes. Refined strokes and vigorous spirit. The handwriting was gorgeous. They say handwriting reflects the person, and it was indeed the case. Just when the 2 elders were about to leave, the sky that had just cleared up suddenly began to snow. This was the first snow after the beginning of spring. It had snowed for less than 10 minutes, and there was already a thin layer of snow on the ground. Enai Tsuehua went to cover the rabbit hutch with plastic sheets to prevent snow from entering. When she came back after covering the hutch, she ran into the old couple on their way out. Uncle Zheng, Auntie Zheng, it's snowing and the roads are slippery. Why don't you stay and have lunch? It's nearly noon anyway, said Enai Tsuehua, who was always a kind person, and couldn't bear to see the 2 elders trudging through the snow. Oh, we don't want to bother you, Grandma Zheng declined politely. It's no trouble at all, not at all. Enai Tsuehua walked in with Grandma Zheng's arm. We were going to have lunch anyway, so as long as you 2 don't mind, it's all good. After lunch, you'll get Enai Yang to drop you off at the village. Enai Yang didn't know it was snowing outside, and when she stepped out, she was taken aback. Grandma Zheng, my mom is right. You should stay for lunch and I'll take you to the village after we eat. The roads were slippery in the snow, and it was a little unsafe for Grandpa and Grandma Zheng, who were already quite old, to walk on their own. The 2 of them really loved the atmosphere in the Enai family's home. Seeing Enai Tsuehua and her daughters was genuinely heartwarming. They didn't refuse her any further and thanked them in their hearts for being such good people. They wondered what kind of elders they would have had to be in order to raise such good descendants. Hot pot is the best for snowy days. Considering that the 2 elders could not eat spicy food, Enai Tsuehua specially made a delicious seafood hot pot. The pot was full of clams, Australia lobster, and king crab legs. The soup was creamy and mouth-watering, especially with the accompanying vegetable dishes. This was Beijing and it was winter, so getting seafood was not easy, even for the rich and powerful families. But the Enai family was different. They had a mochichen. Because Enai Yang liked seafood so much, all of these items were flown in by a mochichen. The king crab brought in was still alive at that time. Enai Tsuehua was a very considerate person and she peeled a lot of crab and shrimp meat for Grandpa and Grandma Zheng. Grandpa Zheng usually didn't have much of an appetite, but today he ate all the crab and shrimp meat that Enai Tsuehua had prepared without a word. If you looked closely, You could see the tears glittering in his lowered eyes. If his daughter hadn't been lost, now she should be taking care of him like an Aizuehua, right? Grandpa Zheng swallowed his tears along with the crab meat. Grandma Zheng put a piece of peeled crab meat into Ni Kuihua's bowl. Yang Yang's mom, don't just peel for us. You should eat too. All right. Ni Zuehua nodded, eating the crab meat. After the meal, Grandpa Zheng was holding little Ni Yun, telling her stories. Little Ni Yun was fascinated. After each story, she clapped for Grandpa Zheng. Grandpa is awesome. Grandpa Zheng was so happy he couldn't stop smiling, which was quite a departure from his usual serious demeanor. After listening to the 10th story, little Ni Yun suddenly said, Grandpa, let's play hide and seek. Sure. Grandpa Zheng nodded. Little Ni Yun jumped off Grandpa Zheng's lap at the mention of this and ran into the house. After a while, she came back with a small handkerchief. Grandpa, is it? All right. Grandpa Zheng nodded again. Little Ni Yun blindfolded Grandpa Zheng with the handkerchief, and the old and the young started playing hide and seek. The living room was filled with laughter from both of them. Grandma Zheng never knew that Grandpa Zheng could be so childlike. After they finished playing hide and seek, little Ni Yun brought a comb, rubber bands, and small clips. Grandpa, can I braid your hair? She often did this for her father, who praised her braids as pretty. Grandpa Zheng's expression was somewhat subtle. He had lived for so many years, and this was the first time anyone had wanted to braid his hair. Chapter 739, Spoiled Grandson Maniac _4. Ni Zuehua said, Yun Yun, sweetie, don't bother Grandpa anymore. The old man Zheng laughed and said, That's all right. It's a good thing that children like to play. As he spoke, the elder Zheng lowered his head, letting little Ni Yun play on his head. A look of disbelief covered the old Mrs. Zheng's face. The elder Mr. Zheng was acting too strange today. If she hadn't seen with her own eyes, she would have thought he was another person. Not only had little Ni Yun plaits 3 braids on Mr. Zheng's head, but she also clamped a pink clip to his beard and smeared lipstick and foundation on him, making him look very funny. Elder Mr. Zheng had always been old-fashioned and serious. He had never acted like this before. Mrs. Zheng couldn't help but laugh out loud. Little Ni Yun held her face with both hands and said admiringly, Wow, Grandpa looks so pretty. Elder Mr. Zheng, ha ha. Old Mrs. Zheng laughed so hard that she fell onto the sofa and held her stomach. Little Ni Yun, excited, said, Grandpa, see, Grandma was knocked out by your beauty. At this point, even Ni Yang couldn't help but laugh. Being able to let little Ni Yun play around like this, Elder Mr. Zheng must be extremely indulgent with grandkids at home. Pleasant times always seem to pass quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it was 4 in the afternoon. The winter's early evening comes much earlier than in summer. By 4:10 p.m., it was already getting dark. When the elder Mr. Zheng and Mrs. Zheng proposed to leave, Ni Hua and Ni Yang, along with little Ni Yun, accompanied the old couple to the village entrance. Little Ni Yun was very reluctant to part with elder Mr. Zheng. Grandpa, don't go away. Don't worry, Grandpa will come and visit you often. Elder Mr. Zheng patted little Ni Yun's head. Then let's pinky swear. Little Ni Yun held out her pinky finger. All right. Old Mr. Zheng made a pinky promise with little Ni Yun. Wait a minute. Little Ni Yun continued, Grandpa, I have another gift for you. What's the gift? This is my most favorite hair clip. I'm giving it to you now. Little Ni Yun reluctantly shared her treasured pink pearl hair clip, clipping it onto Elder Zheng's head. Thank you, little Yun Yun. Elder Mr. Zheng looked very happy. You're welcome. Little Ni Yun said shyly. The elderly couple got in the car and waved to Ni Yang and Ni Zuehua. Yang Yang's mom, Yang Yang, it's getting dark. You guys should go home. The mother and daughter waved back at them. The car quickly disappeared into the snowy landscape. The atmosphere in the car was quiet, but the corners of the elderly couple's mouths were filled with a soft smile. After a while, Elder Mr. Zheng said, Ching, don't you think that Yang Yang and little Yun Yun resemble our Ting Ting when she was a child? Especially little Ni Yun, her chubby little face looked exactly like Zheng Ting Ting did as a baby. Hearing these words, Elder Mrs. Zheng said in surprise. You think so too? She thought she was the only one who thought that. Elder Mr. Zheng looked similarly surprised. You think so too? Yes. Elder Mrs. Zheng nodded, then said, Didn't I tell you last time that I met someone who looked just like our Tingting? That was Yang Yang's mom, and the hair that Dr. Xiaoran had taken for testing was also hers. I don't know if Dr. Xiaoran has the results yet. Elder Mr. Zheng let out a sigh. Xiaoran is a responsible kid. If there were results, she would definitely call us straight away, Mrs. Zheng said. Elder Mr. Zheng nodded. When the two returned home, Zheng Lingling asked anxiously, Mom, Dad, it's snowing so hard outside. Where did you go today? I was worried all day at home. You two are not young anymore, and the snowy roads are slippery. What should I do if an accident occurs? Elder Mr. Zheng didn't say anything as usual. He went straight upstairs. Elder Mrs. Zheng laughed and said, Your dad and I went to the countryside to relax. You don't need to worry. Zheng Lingling continued, Mom, Dad, next time you go somewhere, please tell me in advance. I will accompany you so I won't worry. What are these stubborn old people up to? They wouldn't be looking for their daughter again, would they? They're really a couple of worrywarts. Zheng Tingting has been dead for hundreds of years. Why can't they just calm down? Even though she's not their biological child, she is more filial than a real daughter would be. Why can't they be satisfied with that? Don't they know the saying, a man's heart is not enough to swallow an elephant? Elder Mrs. Zheng continued, Lingling, you're also working very hard. You should rest more when you have time. Your dad and I can take care of ourselves. Chapter 740, Spoiled Grandson Maniac Under 5. Zheng Lingling humbly replied, It's no trouble. What could be so hard for me? I guess this old witch does have a bit of a conscience, acknowledging my daily hustling. Then he'll go upstairs first. All right, Mom. Mrs. Zheng turned and went upstairs. In no time, Zheng Lingling brought up the ginseng soup. Mom, Dad, this is today's ginseng soup. Just as Mrs. Zheng was about to say something, Mr. Zheng spoke. Thank you, Lingling, well, drink it later. Zheng Lingling nodded. Dad, you should drink it sooner. Its effectiveness decreases once it gets cold. Mr. Zheng nodded in agreement. Without overthinking, Zheng Lingling turned and left. Then Mrs. Zheng proceeded, Why didn't you tell her earlier, so she won't make these supplements anymore? Mr. Zheng responded, We just came back from outside today. If we immediately tell Lingling not to make these supplements, it would arouse suspicion, right? Normally, there are no secrets among family members. But the current situation is special. Not everything is appropriate to share with Zheng Lingling. Mrs. Zheng nodded. True, that makes sense. Then Mr. Zheng poured both bowls of ginseng soup into a nearby watering can. The soup was more suitable as plant water. And Yang went to the Zhao families today to check up on Mrs. Zhao. Mrs. Zhao's recovery was going well, and she now had full mobility in her upper body. After the examination, Mrs. Zhao started talking to Yang about Mrs. Cheng. A doctor's heart must be of benevolence. Hearing Mrs. Zhao's words, Yang was deeply sympathetic and asked, Where is Mrs. Cheng now? I can go and take a look. Mrs. Zhao said, Butler, please take Yang. The butler nodded and turned to Yang. Miss please follow me. Mrs. Cheng was staying in the Zhao family's guest room and was currently under full-time care. Thanks to the caretaker's diligent care, Mrs. Cheng seemed quite healthy. Although Mrs. Chang's symptoms appeared similar to Mrs. Zhao's, Yang found something unusual after conducting an examination. Mrs. Chang's loss of speech wasn't due to a stroke, but because she was poisoned by a mute-inducing drug. Could it be Lin Fang? With Lin Fang's malicious nature, there was indeed a possibility. Fortunately, she could cure the effects of the drug. Although she could restore Mrs. Chang's speech, she couldn't do anything about her legs. Her legs were completely necrotic, and because they were not treated in time, they had fully atrophied. Unless the technology to regenerate muscles becomes a reality, Mrs. Cheng standing on her own would be impossible. Yang first used several acupuncture needles on Mrs. Cheng to clear the stagnation causing her muteness, then fed her a black pill. Mrs. Cheng only felt an area of coolness in her throat and a ticklish sensation, almost like something was about to break through the surface. At that moment, Yang held her upright and gave her a glass of water. Like a rainstorm hitting a parched desert, Mrs. Chang vigorously swallowed. In less than 30 seconds, she had drunk the whole glass of water. Thank you. Mrs. Chang expressed her gratitude with a hoarse voice. Yang smiled slightly. Congratulations, you can talk again. It finally dawned on Mrs. Chang. I can speak. Yang nodded, yes. Mrs. Chang grabbed Yang's hand. Young lady, thank you. I am a doctor, and this is what I should do. Yang began packing up her medical kit. By the way, what happened to your voice? It was Lin Fong. Mrs. Chang tightly gripped the bed cover. It was all because of that wench. She not only caused the death of my son but also made me lose my speech. Yang looked surprised. So, it really was her. Upon hearing of this, Mrs. Zhao immediately called the police, as poisoning someone to mute them is certainly not a minor offense. In front of the police, Mrs. Chang revealed all of Lin Fang's wrongdoings throughout these years. As a result, Lin Fang's prison term was increased from 3 years to 8. Subsequently, Mrs. Zhao had the staff at the nursing home take Mrs. Chang to the nursing home. Mrs. Zhao felt sorry for Mrs. Chang's predicament and arranged for her to stay in a high-end single room in the nursing home with one-on-one nursing care. The cost was quite high, at 500 yuan per year. In the eyes of ordinary people, 500 yuan is a fortune, but for Mrs. Zhao, it was nothing. Additionally, Mrs. Zhao gave Mrs. Chang 1,000 yuan in cash, which Mrs. Chang insisted she couldn't accept. You're tuning in to the Wandering Hero YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.